Part 7. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 61. Master, don't you go and take a look, Xiao Junlin stuttered for the first time. It's just a treasure. The Xiao family has plenty of them, so why do I, the head of the family, need to go there? Seeing Xiao Xian looking calm, Xiao Junlin is extremely anxious. That is your Xiao family's genius. No matter how much you regard treasures as dung, you should at least go and take a look. It is said that the treasure can turn around the situation of a family. Does the family want to? Xiao Xian listened to Xiao Junlin's inner slander with a proud smile on his lips. Seeing how anxious he was, he also knew that Xiao Junlin really didn't want to see the Xiao family lose a talented person. So I stopped teasing him. Since this treasure is so powerful, my master should go and have a look. After saying that, he jumped up and was above the sky in an instant. Only then did Xiao Junlin feel relieved. Damn old bastard, if it weren't for your kindness to the family members and your cunning character, I wouldn't have bothered to take care of you. When Xiao Xian heard this, he almost used his sword and nailed Xiao Junlin to the cross on the spot. And at this time, the two young masters and servants from the northwest of Tianzhou have entered Tianzhou. Looking at Tianzhou that had not changed much in front of him, the young man couldn't help but sigh. I am back again. Uncle Yuan is also full of joy, ever since the Xiao family was exterminated. They never stepped foot into Tianzhou again. Master, let's go. They are catching up. The master and servant were just about to rest here for a while when they felt the arrival of the Lin family. At this time, dozens of Lorelm cultivators surrounded them from all directions. The leader was actually a powerful man in the Great Dao realm. Uncle Yuan protected the young man behind him and looked at him with an angry face. My young master's heavenly bones have been taken away by you, but you still want to kill them all. The leading man sneered. The heavenly bones are owned by our Lin family. Where did you get the heavenly bones? Besides, dead people can't talk. After saying this, the man threw his head back and laughed, then made a kill gesture. Uncle Yuan was furious when he heard this, but he had nothing to do. Right now, a young man wearing a green shirt and holding a long sword suddenly appeared in front of everyone. If everyone in Tianzhou sees it, they will be able to recognize it at a glance. This is Xiao Jiangxin. Xiao Jiangxin has just finished a round of training and is preparing to go to the Xiao family. On the way, I suddenly felt the aura of people of the same blood and origin. When they reach a certain level in cultivation, they will be able to sense the existence of people of the same origin and lineage. And accurate to the location. Xiao Jiangxin could feel the aura coming from the man in green at a glance. Out of the feeling of being of the same blood and lineage, he immediately rushed to the young master and servant. The young man naturally felt the second-year aura of Xiao Jiangxin. I feel very happy in my heart that the Xiao family still has direct descendants still alive. Normally, he would definitely recognize this person, but at this moment, the other party is at the 5th level of Lorelm. With such a talent, how could he be implicated? Therefore, he kept winking at Xiao Jiangxin, signaling him to leave here. However, Xiao Jiangxin said directly, "Are you a survivor of the Xiao family in Tianzhou?" Back then, the Xiao family had a huge number, and all of their direct bloodlines were gathered in Tianzhou. In addition, the Xiao family was one of the largest families in Tianzhou back then. Therefore, as long as the Xiao family of Tianzhou is mentioned, everyone knows that it is the direct bloodline of the Xiao family. As soon as Xiao Jiangxin opened his mouth, the young man could only nod helplessly. The expressions of the people around him changed even more when they heard this, and quickly surrounded Xiao Jiangxin. However, Xiao Jiangxin didn't think so. Except for the powerful man in the Great Dao realm, he needs to pay attention. Nothing else matters. I am Xiao Jiangxin of the Xiao family in Tianzhou. Which branch are you from? Xiao Jiangxin was very happy to hear that the young man was a survivor of the Xiao family in Tianzhou. He knew a little bit about the Xiao family's affairs back then. Xiao Xian was the only direct descendant who escaped after the family was destroyed. Now he met a direct descendant of the Xiao family here. How could he not be surprised? I am Xiao Tianyuan, a member of the Tianzi generation. It was only under the protection of my mother that I saved my life from the disaster. Xiao Jian was overjoyed. The current head of the family is Xiao Xian. I wonder what your relationship is with him. Xiao Tianyuan was overjoyed when he heard this, but it hurt his own injuries. The direct descendants of the Xiao family are divided by generation. The Xian generation is the highest generation, followed by the Tian generation. Xiao Xian is my uncle. I didn't expect that he is still alive. That's great. Uncle Xian is still alive. Xiao Tianyuan was so excited, he still had relatives. He is not alone in this world, he also has an uncle in this world. Xiao Jiangxin was also very happy, so he made up his mind to take Xiao Tianyuan away from here. Not just because Xiao Xian had given him guidance and was his life mentor. Especially because this is the blood of his Xiao family. So what if there is a powerful man in the great Dao realm opposite? Over the years, he has traveled far and wide and has all kinds of rare treasures on his body, even if he cannot be defeated. It is not a problem to take Xiao Tianyuan away from here. I didn't expect you to meet people from the Xiao family here. Since they are all here, just stay and don't leave. At this time, the voice of the powerful man in the great Dao realm came over. Xiao Jiangxin and others took a look and each had their own plans in mind. Xiao Tianyuan even struggled to stand up, protecting Xiao Jiangxin behind him. At the same time, he looked at Uncle Yuan. Uncle Yuan, this little kid must be escorted out of here safely. Uncle Yuan has the cultivation level of the great Dao realm. Although he is seriously injured at this moment, he is still able to take Xiao Jiangxin away safely. Even if he was worried about Xiao Tianyuan's safety and issued orders to his direct relatives, he had to carry them out. Xiao Tianyuan frowned and his voice was firm. My child, remember to say hello to Uncle Xian for me when you go out. I am very happy to see the Xiao family here today. I know you want to save me, but you are no match for them. What's more, your talents should not be wasted here. Xiao Jiangxin did not expect that Xiao Tianyuan could be so protective of someone he met for the first time. Just as he was about to speak, Lin Qiu's mocking voice came over. No one has ever left alive in my hands. Xiao Jiangxin glanced over coldly, noisy. Lin Qiu didn't expect that he would be reprimanded by Emir Lorelm. What a shame and shame. The coercion of the powerful Dao realm erupted instantly, heading towards Xiao Jiangxin. Upon seeing this, Uncle Yuan stepped forward to fight him. Let Xiao Jiangxin be faster. I saw him unsheath his sword. The sword energy was fierce, and a terrifying sword intent burst out instantly. The sword force that filled the sky directly shattered the pressure of the great Dao realm. Sword power. It turned out to be a sword power. Everyone's expressions changed drastically. Even those who are powerful in the great Dao realm may not be able to comprehend the power of the sword. And he had already understood the power of the sword in the realm of mere law. It's no exaggeration to call this talent an unparalleled talent. Lin Qiu looked fierce when he saw this. I thought he just had good talent, but unexpectedly he turned out to be an unparalleled talent. If he continues to grow, there will be endless troubles for the Lin family. So this boy must die here today. What can you do if you understand the power of the sword? In the face of absolute power, you are nothing but a coward. Lin Qiu shouted loudly, holding a fist with the power of the great Dao realm. He immediately rushed towards Xiao Jiangxin. Seeing this, Yuan Bo jumped into the air and directly met Lin Qiu's killing move with both fists. Bang! Although Uncle Yuan was slightly injured, he was still able to hold off Lin Qiu for a while. Although he was at a disadvantage at the moment, Lin Qiu couldn't get the slightest advantage from him. "You old immortal, with your broken body, you still want to compete with me? You are simply asking for your own death." Lin Qiu was furious. "If you want to deal with those two guys, you must kill this old immortal first." At the same time, the rest of the Lorelms attacked Xiao Jiangxin. So what if he understood the power of the sword? With so many of them taking action at the same time, is it possible that they still can't deal with a young boy at the 5th level of the Lorelm? At this time, Xiao Tianyun burst out with the aura of some secret method. "I'll hold them back first, you run away from here quickly, and then come and avenge me when you become stronger." Xiao Jian stood in front of Xiao Tianyun without leaving any trace. Although he didn't know what secret method Xiao Tianyun was going to use. But that secret method will definitely kill him. Immediately afterwards, Xiao Jiangxin summoned the accompanying divine sword that he had obtained when he first understood the sword's intention. This divine sword improved as his cultivation level improved. Now it is a low-grade artifact of heaven level. I saw him swing his sword. A powerful sword intent instantly burst out from him. The sword shot straight into the sky, and instantly fell downwards with sword light all over the sky. Immediately afterwards, the killing moves of more than 20 Lorelm experts were resolved. Xiao Tianyun was stunned by the scene before him. He originally thought that Xiao Jiangxin was just gifted, but he didn't expect to be so powerful. However, in Xiao Jiangxin's eyes, these legal realms could not inspire him to fight at all. I saw him waving his sword, and in an instant thunder rolled from the sky, and the situation changed drastically. All of a sudden, several Lorelm cultivators were killed by this sword. Bodies kept falling from high altitudes. This scene made people gasp. Killing so many Lorelms with just one sword. The remaining Lorelm cultivators were shocked by this scene. They hesitated to advance or retreat. Lin Qiu was also surprised by Xiao Jiangxin's sword. "If you dare to kill another person, I will definitely pull out your muscles and bones." As he spoke, he wanted to throw away Uncle Yuan and go to support those people. However, how could Uncle Yuan give him a chance to leave? Xiao Jiangxin didn't take Lin Qiu's threat seriously at all. The long sword circulated in the air, and one sword cut through the sky. The three sword intents instantly moved towards the nearest three Lorelms. Next moment, another three cultivators of the Lorelm fell from the sky. But within a few breaths, only Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Tianyun, Yuan Bo, Lin Qiu, and others were left present. Xiao Jiangxin stepped forward and was ready to take Xiao Tianyun away from here. When Xiao Tianyun saw this, he was surprised at first, and then quickly asked Xiao Jiangxin to leave. "Thank you for your kindness, but Uncle Yuan treats me like his own son. Without his protection these years, I don't know how many times I have died. Now that he is in trouble, I cannot leave him alone. After you leave here, remember to say hello to Uncle Xian for me." Xiao Jiangxin looked at him calmly. In critical moments, Xiao Tianyun was willing to risk his life even for him whom he met for the first time. What's more, this person is still his elder. How can he abandon a person with such a kind heart? Therefore, Xiao Jiangxin jumped up and went to Uncle Yuan to assist him. Although he can't compete with the powerful ones in the Dao realm, but it is still possible to interfere and provide assists to Yuan Bo. With the help of Xiao Jiangxin, Yuan Bo gradually reversed the situation and gained the upper hand. Lin Qiu also suffered many sword wounds due to Xiao Jiangxin's interference. If this continues, he will become the first Dao realm to die at the hands of the Lorelm. However, he can't retreat now, otherwise the tasks assigned by the family will not be completed and it will be difficult for him to deliver. But if he doesn't retreat, he will die here again. Just when Lin Qiu was in a dilemma, a thick and coercive voice came from the air. "Fortunately, you are still a Dao realm cultivator, but you are stumped by a low realm. You are really a loser. Hearing this voice, Lin Qiu was immediately overjoyed. However, the expressions of Uncle Yuan and Xiao Tianyun changed drastically. They actually came. Xiao Jiangxin also felt the pressure from the strong men in the Dongxi realm. He looked gloomily at the two people who gradually appeared in the air. At this time, his heart became heavy. If it comes to the Great Dao realm, he can use exotic treasures to fight it. In the Cave Void realm, he has only one way to die. The two elders stood in the air, looking at the embarrassed Lin Qiu, with a trace of disgust in their eyes. When Xiao Tianyun saw the two elders appearing, his whole body exuded strong murderous intent. There was even more hatred in his eyes. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 62. How could Xiao Tianyun not hate them both? If it weren't for their intervention, how could his heavenly bones be dug out by that person? Since his uncle's death, he has been living in dire straits in the Lin family. Then he found out that he was pregnant with the heavenly bones and dug it out forcibly. Now he is killing him to death. This hatred cannot be forgotten even if he is reincarnated. When Lin Qiu saw the two elders approaching, he quickly retreated to their side. Sixth elder, eighth elder. The eighth elder snorted coldly, you can't handle this matter well. My Lin family has really spent all these years raising you in vain. Lin Qiu dared not say a word after being scolded by the eighth elder. The sixth elder on the side was stroking his beard with a smile on his face. For someone who is in the Great Dao realm and has an unparalleled talent with sword power, it will inevitably be a bit difficult to deal with. You and I are here now, so why worry about the final outcome of the matter? Seeing the sixth elder helping Lin Qiu, the eighth elder angrily rolled his sleeves and said no more. Instead, he vented his dissatisfaction on Xiao Jiangxin. The qualifications are good, but you have no chance to continue to grow. Looking at Xiao Jiangxin, the eighth elder had a sneer on his face. Normally, he would still be a little worried about such a talented person. But who told him to be a descendant of the Xiao family? For the future of the Lin family, he must get rid of such a genius. Xiao Jiangxin showed no fear on his face when facing the threat from the eighth elder. Even if the other party is already a strong man in Dongxi realm, he didn't feel afraid because of the opponent's strong strength. I'm afraid that your cultivation in Dongxi realm won't keep me here. The eighth elder was furious when he heard this. Huangkao kid, you are not too soft. This elder will let you see the strength of Dongxi realm. After saying that, he rose into the air, and the pressure of the Dongxi realm powerhouse burst out instantly. With a finger pointing with the aura of Dongxi realm, he faced Xiao Jiangxin and left. Die. Xiao Tianyun and others suddenly felt as if they were being pressed down by a huge mountain. The coercion that erupted from the Dongxi realm attracted the attention of many powerful people in Tianzhou. As the number one swordsman in Tianzhou, Xiao Jiangxin is also the direct descendant of the Xiao family. Coupled with his years of experience outside, many people have remembered him. Seeing this fighting scene, many people felt anxious for Xiao Jiangxin. If it were normal, they would definitely help. After all, both Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Xian are worthy of their win over. But now Xiao Jiangxin is facing two cultivators of the Cave Void realm. There are only a few hundred statues in the entire Tianzhou. A family that can have a strong man from the Cave Void realm sitting in charge is definitely not weak. It's something they can't afford to offend. Even in Tianzhou, who dares to take action against this elder? You and suffer death. The eighth elder snorted lightly. The finger he pointed just now became dozens of feet wide in an instant. This combat effectiveness directly increased 100 times. The pressure and power of this finger had the potential to crush Xiao Jiangxin and others into clay. Everyone saw this scene. They couldn't help but sigh. Xiao Jiangxin, as an unparalleled genius, could understand the power of the sword in the low realm. If you continue to grow, you will be able to become a king and an emperor in the future. Even comprehending the legendary immortal way is not guaranteed. But today he is going to die here. Even if they cherish their talents, they cannot offend a family with Dongxi realm for Xiao Jiangxin. Even when faced with life and death moments, Xiao Jiangxin still looked calm on his body. Xiao Xian's figure is vaguely visible. As the genius of the Xiao family, he has been practicing abroad for many years. Obtained many rare animals and treasures. How could he not have a life-saving trump card? But just as he was about to take action, a sword light came from the void towards the eighth elder at the speed of light. The sword light cut through the dark clouds in the sky, dividing the sky into black and white. Countless people's hearts palpitated, and they all looked sideways at the sword light in the sky. The sword light instantly turned into a golden giant sword, launching a fierce attack. It fell on the condensed finger of the eighth elder. With just one sword, he could easily neutralize the eighth elder's killing move in the virtual realm. Everyone sighed. Could it be that another strong person from the cave void realm appeared? Although the eighth elder's killing move was defeated, the sword light was still coming towards him. The eighth elder snorted coldly and instantly formed the protective shield of a strong man in the cave void realm. Withstood the remaining power of the sword light. The eighth elder snorted coldly, looking at the place where the sword light passed by and scolding him. Who is here? How dare you stop this elder? This roar carried the coercion of the cave realm, and the onlookers all around were shocked to hear their ears ringing. However, as soon as he finished speaking, there was a sneer mixed with murderous intent. His momentum was not inferior to that of the eight elders. Have you ever asked the head of my family if you want to touch the genius of my Xiao family? If there is not a hair on his body, your Lin family will disappear. Hearing this, there was a burst of sighs and shock all around. Who would have thought that in front of two powerful men in the cave void realm, someone would dare to threaten to destroy his clan? Rubber words. The eighth elder became angry and powerful, and a terrifying pressure shrouded the sky. The sixth elder on the side suppressed his smile, with murderous intent in his eyes. Everyone looked along where the sound came from. A white figure with a sharp sword energy appeared in front of everyone instantly. When you see who is coming. Countless people were excited. It turned out to be Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian is actually so strong in front of two powerful men from the cave void realm. If it were your family's most talented person who was about to be killed, would you be able to bear it? So what if he is strong, but the opponents are two strong men in the Dongxi realm? Just because he is invincible in the Dao realm does not mean he can win in the Dongxi realm. Xiao Xian is probably going to be cold this time. He who is in the Dongxi realm has 100 times the combat power. Don't argue. Judging from Xiao Xian's behavior, he must have a trump card. The Lin family members, who were still a little confused at first, heard the heated discussions around them. It's also considered that Xiao Xian's identity is known. The eighth elder looked at Xiao Xian with disdain, and a murderous intention surged out of him. With your cultivation level at the 8th level of the Great Dao realm, you still want to destroy the Manchus of my Lin family. You are really brave. Xiao Xian ignored the other party's cynicism and looked at Xiao Jiangxin and the other three. Seeing that the three of them were safe and sound, the stone in my heart fell to the ground. Use your chaotic pupils to explore the detailed information of Xiao Tianyun and Yuan Bo. Xiao Tianyun, the direct descendant of the Xiao family's Tianzi generation, the host's nephew, and the birth of Tiangu. He was forcibly poached by the genius of the Lin family. The 8th elder and the 6th elder were accomplices. At the critical moment, Uncle Yuan came to rescue him. If you are seriously injured, you need timely treatment, otherwise your life will be at risk. The bitter spirit root has been activated. After the Great Tribulation, practice again and your future will be limitless. Uncle Yuan, his original name is Yuan Tian, he is at the 5th level of the Great Dao realm. He treats Xiao Tianyun as if he were his own son. He is seriously injured and needs timely treatment. After learning the information about the two of them, Xiao Xian couldn't hold back the information in his heart. Unexpectedly, he actually still has direct relatives still alive. Xiao Tianyun is Tianzi's younger brother, and the son of his eldest brother from the same father and mother. His nephew. He still remembers the scene when Xiao Tianyun had to lift it up by himself when he was a child. Tianyun. Xiao Xian opened his mouth several times, and finally choked and called softly, fearing that this was just a dream. Xiao Tianyun was shocked, and he knelt on the ground excitedly, looking at the person in his memory with tears streaming down his face. Uncle Xian. Since his uncle's death, no one has called him like this. Now all the humiliation and unwillingness are vented at this moment. Xiao Xian helped the pale Xiao Tianyun up with trembling hands. Looking at his face that was very similar to his elder brother's, I felt even more heartbroken. He regretted a little bit why he didn't find him earlier so that he wouldn't have to suffer so much. Good boy. Good boy. As long as your Uncle Xian is here, from today on, I won't let anyone hurt you even a little bit. As he said that, Xiao Xian looked in the direction of the Lin family with murderous eyes. If anyone dares to attack you again, Uncle Xian will make their family bleed like a river. Xiao Xian's tone was extremely firm, and the pressure of the sword erupted all over his body. Xiao Tianyun didn't have time to say a few more words to Xiao Xian. The eighth elder snorted coldly. It's really a tear-jerking uncle-nephew recognition. It's a pity that you are only at the Great Dao realm and you can't do anything to us. When I think about Xiao Tianyun's current situation, it was all caused by them. Xiao Xian was so angry that he wanted to crush them to pieces. Only then can we relieve the hatred in our hearts. Shut up. I am speaking, do you allow me to speak? Xiao Xian's strong and domineering words made everyone stunned. The tone was as if he was scolding his own servant. This scene once again refreshed everyone's understanding of Xiao Xian. The eighth elder was furious when he heard this. His dignified Dongxi realm was actually scolded by a Dao realm master today. It's simply the most ridiculous thing in the world. How presumptuous! How dare you show off your power in front of this elder even if you are in the Dao realm? If Xiao Xian's life cannot be handed down here today, where will his reputation in the cave void realm lie? Come and die. After saying that, the eighth elder burst out with pressure and launched an attack on Xiao Xian. The Dongxi realm's hundredfold fighting power exploded completely at this moment. Behind him, countless giant trees instantly surged into the sky. It seems that Xiao Xian is going to be buried alive here. Everyone gasped when they saw this. Is this the pressure of 100 times the combat power of the Dongxi realm? It's so scary. People who originally had hope for Xiao Xian now see the fighting power of a strong man in the Dongxi realm. Suddenly lost confidence in Xiao Xian. Almost no one can survive 100 times the battle in the Dongxi realm. The overwhelming pressure locked Xiao Xian. However, Xiao Xian remained calm in the face of such a powerful attack. There was not even the slightest fear in his eyes towards the strong men in the Dongxi realm. I saw Xiao Xian swinging a sword, and the sword light directly turned into a sword energy, which instantly defeated the opponent's killing move. This scene shocked countless people. However, before they could react, Xiao Xian launched another attack. How dare you take my nephew's life in the Dongxi realm? I think you have lived too long. Xiao Xian spoke domineeringly, and then the waning moon sword appeared in his hand. A ray of sword light cut through the sky, approaching the eighth elder. The eighth elder sneered, if you dare to attack me in the Great Dao realm, you are really asking for your own death. As his words fell, the giant trees behind him instantly rose from the ground, and their branches turned into streaks of sword light and headed towards Xiao Xian. Coupled with the hundredfold combat power of the Dongxi realm, it actually made the world change color. It collided with Xiao Xian's sword. The situation changed dramatically in an instant. The eighth elder sneered. He was very confident in his move. Not only will Xiao Xian's sword energy be broken, but his dantian will also be shattered. Just when he was proud, a sword light flashed across the void. In the shocked eyes of countless people, the eighth elder's fatal move was defeated by just one collision. And that sword energy penetrated his defensive shield and attacked the eighth elder directly. The eighth elder was horrified, his face full of disbelief. Faced with such a terrifying sword, he did not dare to show any slightness. He quickly gathered a defensive shield to resist Xiao Xian's move. I saw a white mushroom cloud explode instantly. In the shocked eyes of countless people, the eighth elder's body was knocked back hundreds of steps. It was hard to keep his body steady. A few strands of gray hair mixed with red blood slowly fell down. The sixth elder on the side looked at the scene in front of him with a gloomy face, and the pressure of the cave void realm on his body directly locked Xiao Xian. This is the strength of a strong man in the Dongxi realm, he is vulnerable to a single blow. Xiao Xian smiled coldly and looked at the eighth elder with disdain. The six elders stood side by side beside the eighth elder, and everything they looked at turned into a sea of fire. You and I will work together to kill him. If he is allowed to leave here, it will be a disaster for the Lin family. The eighth elder was confused by Xiao Xian's move. After being reminded by the sixth elder, he instantly understood the consequences. Now he is only at the Great Dao realm, but he has the ability to rival the Dongxi realm. If he is allowed to continue to grow, the Lin family will not be able to compete with him alone, even with all the strength of the family. Then the two looked at each other. Taking a step in the air, he launched attacks on Xiao Xian from both sides. The pressure locked Xiao Xian, making him unable to move. As long as Xiao Xian can be eliminated, everything else is just clouds. Even if what they did was wrong, who would dare to say no in front of the Dongxi realm? The waning moon sword is in hand. With the blessing of many magical powers and the power of the Dzogchen sword, let Xiao Xian's sword power instantly increase 100 times, even if the opponent is two strong men in the cave void realm. Under the pressure of such a sword, it was impossible to escape intact. Just let me solve it with one sword. The waning moon sword was unsheathed. The sky is turbulent. Countless sword energy came from all directions. Xiao Xian's sword showed everyone what a terrifying sword power is. Countless people stared at the scene in front of them. If the people fighting above were all strong men from the cave realm, they might not be so shocked. But Xiao Xian only has the Dao realm cultivation level. You must know that the further you go in your cultivation, the more powerful you will be in the realm of crushing. In the great Dao realm, in front of the Dongxi realm, he is simply his younger brother. But Xiao Xian only relied on his 8th level cultivation of the great Dao realm to fight against two strong men of the Dongxi realm. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 63. How did he manage to fight between the Great Dao realm and the Dongxi realm without losing? This is too powerful. The Xiao family master is indeed the legendary family master. I didn't believe what Xiao Jiangxin said at first, but today I broke my understanding of Kendo. With this powerful strength, apart from Xiao Xian, no one else can be found in Tianzhou. This kind of strength is beyond our reach. I just said that if Xiao Xian takes action, he doesn't know what the result will be until the last minute. At this time, everyone's eyes fell on Xiao Xian. They wanted to see how many trump cards Xiao Xian had and where his limits were. Facing such terrifying two powerful men from the cave void realm, he could still remain calm. With bold words, he can even be defeated with a single sword strike. On the battlefield, sword intent spread all over the sky. Even facing two powerful men in the cave void realm, he was not timid. The eighth elder and the sixth elder were under such a fierce sword attack. He was somewhat invincible. The eighth elder's spirit form is wood, so after his cultivation in the Dongxu realm broke out, the surrounding trees can be transformed into his natal dharma for fighting. The sixth elder's spirit form is a living creature, and any animal he possesses can be used by him. There are the most jackals, tigers, and leopards here, and the tiger is the most powerful. Therefore, the sixth elder's natal sign is a giant tiger. If it were an ordinary Dao realm, in the face of such powerful strength, it had already been crushed into dregs. However, Xiao Xian was unmoved. This kind of scene was not scary to him at all. If you only have this strength, you can die. With a wave of the waning moon sword, the two men's killing moves were defeated. The two of them were even more furious when they were so squeezed by Xiao Xian. Damn it! The two of us thought that your cultivation level was still high, but we hadn't used all our strength to fight against you. I didn't expect you to be so ignorant. The eighth elder gnashed his teeth and was so angry that he wished he could cut Xiao Xian into pieces on the spot. The killing intent in the eyes of the sixth elder had reached an extreme point, and he wanted to cut Xiao Xian into pieces with his eyes. It's okay to be confident, but don't be arrogant. But after you gain an advantage in a few moves against me, you feel like you're invincible. It's really ridiculous. Xiao Xian couldn't help but sneer when he heard this. Then I, the head of the family, will let you see what it means to be confident and what it means to belittle oneself. After saying that, he rushed directly into the sky. The sword power of the Dzogchen realm exploded instantly. For a moment, countless people's eyes widened. Even the eighth elder and the sixth elder could not help but change their expressions. But the two felt that Xiao Xian was only at the eighth level of the great Dao realm, and no matter how powerful he was, he would not be able to cause much harm to the two of them. After all, there is a world of difference between the Dongxu realm and the Dao realm. Therefore, the sixth elder laughed disapprovingly. The power of the sword is quite powerful. If you are in the cave void realm, even if you are only at the elementary level. When the two of us saw this sword power, we would turn around and leave. Unfortunately, you are only at the Dao realm. This level of power poses no threat to the two of us. The eighth elder also sneered, seeming to be ready to break Xiao Xian's killer move. Xiao Xian was not angry when he heard this, but smiled with interest. Really? Then take this move from my master and see if you can withstand the power or not. Then when everyone was still confused, the waning moon sword rushed into the sky and disappeared instantly. Just when everyone thought Xiao Xian made a mistake, a powerful stream of air suddenly fell from the sky. Immediately afterwards, the eighth elder and the sixth elder felt locked by a mysterious force. The two looked at Xiao Xian in fear and shock. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The sixth elder looked horrified and full of disbelief. How could he possibly realize such a state? He is just a cultivator in the great Dao realm. The eighth elder had lost his ability to think at this moment. Just because what locks them is the secret of swordsmanship. Also at this time, Xiao Xian poured all his magical powers into it. In addition, he has learned the sword energy, sword intention, sword power, and sword power along the way. Finally, it was gathered into the secret of swordsmanship. The secrets of swordsmanship are secrets that even those in the Dongxu realm may not be able to understand. Ordinary people would never even dare to think about it. Even if there are talented cultivators who have understood the sword energy, it is also impossible to break through the barrier of sword power, and cannot even step into the threshold of sword power. What's more, understanding the secret of swordsmanship. Therefore, after seeing this scene, the eighth elder and the sixth elder both showed expressions of disbelief. This scene also had an unprecedented impact on their Taoist hearts. Everyone looked at the two elders who were stunned in the air with confusion. Suddenly there was an exclamation from the crowd. A secret! This is a secret! The secret of the sword! The head of the Xiao family has actually understood the secret of the sword. As soon as these words came out, it caused a commotion around. Shocking exclamations came from all directions. Who would have thought that Xiao Xian, as a cultivator in the Dao realm, would actually understand the secrets of the sword? No wonder even the strong men in Dongxi realm are frightened. The qualifications of the head of the Xiao family are too incredible. He may not be able to comprehend even the Dongxi realm, but he can comprehend it at the Dao realm. It's no wonder that the head of the Xiao family dares to challenge two Dongxi realm masters. It turns out that he has the secret of swordsmanship that is enough to crush the Dongxi realm. Then it won't be very easy for the head of the Xiao family to break through the Supreme Lord in the future. Mysterious truth is something that many practitioners dream of. And it is something that practitioners must understand on the path of cultivation. Even the Dao killing king can only stagnate here if he does not understand the secret. Until sitting down. But Xiao Xian understood the secret in the Dao realm, which also means, as long as he doesn't die, he will be the supreme master. The expressions of the 8th elder and the 6th elder turned gloomy. He became even more determined to kill Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian, so what if you understand the secret? You haven't entered the cave realm after all. The two of us working together can still kill you here. Xiao Xian stepped in front of them and looked at the two of them indifferently. Even if the master of this family does not have the cultivation level of Dongxi realm, I can still keep you here. Say it. Xiao Xian swung his sword directly. Full of momentum, he took one step forward. Boom! I saw countless streams of light flying in the sky. With Xiao Xian's sword, all the light was absorbed by the waning moon sword. This is already an existence that transcends the secrets of swordsmanship. The sword light passed by, and sword energy cut through the sky. Even the void was cut through by the sword light. The monstrous sword force seemed to split the entire sky. Even the sky trembled. Seeing the sword power that looked like the coming of heaven, the two Dongxi realm experts were extremely shocked. How could they not know the terrifying pressure of this sword? Then the two looked at each other and launched a fierce offensive against Xiao Xian. A decisive blow, heading towards Xiao Xian in full view of everyone. Thunder rolled from the sky and the earth trembled. A ray of sword light shot straight into the sky from the surroundings of the two men. The terrifying sword power directly cut through their attacks and fell on them. The three of them met with a killer move. Even the sky was trembling. This blow seemed to open up the world again. Although the two of them were against Xiao Xian's move. But there were bursts of pain in his chest, as if his internal organs had been shattered. After finally suppressing it, he didn't wait for them to take any further action. Xiao Xian's next move came forward again. With the blessing of mysteries, he already has the ability to leapfrog challenges. Therefore, he didn't waste any time and went straight to a quick fight to deal with the two of them quickly. A sword with flowing light in the void came towards the two of them at the speed of light. Even if they tried their best, they could not withstand the power of this blow. One of them was seriously injured by the sword energy, even though he struggled to resist. He couldn't resist Xiao Xian's sword. The sword energy impacted on the two of them. The secrets of the sword even invaded the souls and devoured their functions. With just one sword strike, the two Dongxi realm experts were no longer able to resist. Xiao Xian retracted his sword indifferently, and his eyes fell on the two of them. The two were horrified. The mere Great Dao realm could actually defeat them all at the same time as they were in the Dongxi realm. Who are you? How could a cultivator in the Great Dao realm have such terrifying strength? The 8th elder and 6th elder were filled with horror. They even speculated that Xiao Xian had been taken away by some old monster. Xiao Xian looked at them indifferently and did not respond. He just stepped slowly towards the two of them. When the 8th elder and 6th elder saw this, they felt frightened. If you dare to kill us, the Lin family will definitely not let you go. Seeing that Xiao Xian was unmoved, the two of them even trembled slightly in their voices. My Lin family has someone who is halfway through the tribulation. Aren't you afraid that he will come forward and wipe out your Xiao family? Hearing this, Xiao Xian stopped. The eighth elder also thought that his deterrence had worked. After all, who can not be afraid of a strong man who can overcome the calamity in half a step? Although Xiao Xian has the ability to defeat them, he can't compete with the strong men who are half-step through the tribulation. When everyone saw this scene, they were disappointed with Xiao Xian. Sure enough, even Xiao Xian, who had always been strong, had to bow his head in front of a strong man who was halfway through the tribulation. But this is normal, if it were them. He didn't even have the ability to fight against the powerful ones in the Dongxi realm, let alone Xiao Xian defeated them. It just makes me feel more uncomfortable the more I think about it. It was obvious that they were the ones who used the dirty trick first, but in the end they had to retreat. This is really frustrating. Seeing Xiao Xian stop, the sixth elder also breathed a sigh of relief. He thought Xiao Xian had let him go, so he asked Lin Qiu to come. Trash! What are you still doing standing there? Send them back quickly. Today he was seriously injured by Xiao Xian and was embarrassed in front of so many people. After he returns from his injuries and recovers, he must let the strong men in the family come forward. Destroy Xiao Xian and the Xiao family. However, at this moment, two golden sword lights suddenly appeared above Xiao Xian's head. I saw the sword light passing directly through the bodies of the eighth elder and the second elder. A muffled groan sounded. The two of them immediately vomited blood. After the sword light dissipated, the aura around the two men gradually decreased until they disappeared. Xiao Xian! How dare you destroy our cultivation? The sixth elder glared at Xiao Xian with a hateful expression. Xiao Xian's sword strike just now destroyed the cultivation of both of them. Not only that, even the dantian was shattered, and the sword intent eroded their bodies. The two elders, who were originally fair-haired and childlike, instantly became senile. The vigorous vitality in the body is also rapidly disappearing. The eyes of the eighth elder were filled with death, and he pointed at Xiao Xian with a hand like dry wood. Xiao Xian, if you destroy my cultivation today, the Lin family will not let you go. And the Xiao family behind you will also be bleeding like a river because of this. The eighth elder's threatening words made everyone feel cold in their hearts. They couldn't imagine what the consequences would be like against a family that was even half-step through the tribulation. What shocked them even more was that Xiao Xian actually used his Dao realm cultivation to destroy the cultivation of two Dongxi realm powerhouses. How powerful this strength is! Faced with the threat from the eighth elder, Xiao Xian curled his lips and smiled. I spared your life for the sake of my nephew. The purpose of abolishing your cultivation is to collect a little interest for the suffering he has endured over the years. Today you leave this despicable life and go back to the Lin family to see how this family leader will destroy your Lin family clan. Xiao Xian's strong words shocked many people. Countless people once again refreshed their understanding of his strength. The eighth elder's eyes were filled with murderous intent, but he said nothing and just stared at Xiao Xian angrily. Lin Qiu on the side was frightened by this scene. Taking advantage of Xiao Xian's unpreparedness, he took the two of them away. However, Xiao Xian deliberately spared their lives. Otherwise, how could the three of them slip away in front of his eyes? However, Xiao Tianyun's injury is the most important right now, if he cannot receive timely treatment. I'm just afraid. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian's eyes were suddenly occupied by surging murderous intent. How could this anger be extinguished by simply destroying the cultivation of the two elders? The Lin family will be destroyed. Immediately, Xiao Xian hurriedly left with Xiao Tianyun, master and servant, and Xiao Jiangxin. Everyone saw Xiao Xian leaving here. Only then did he slowly come back to his senses. Xiao Xian dared to destroy the cultivation of two Dongxi realm experts. He shouted that he would destroy the clan that had a strong man who was halfway through the tribulation. Who can resist such strength? For a time, Xiao Xian abolished the cultivation of two Dongxi realms in Tianzhou and threatened to destroy their clan. It spread throughout Tianzhou. Normally, they might have laughed it off. But before that, he had destroyed two Dongxi realms with his Dao realm cultivation. What shocked them even more was that Xiao Xian had comprehended the Dzogchen sword power in the great Dao realm. Even the secrets of swordsmanship. Just when the outside world was talking a lot about this matter, Xiao Xian has returned to the Xiao family. He also invited two elders to treat Xiao Tianyun's injuries together with Xiao Yan. Uncle Yuan's injury is not bad. He can recover after taking the healing elixir and resting for a few days. It was Xiao Tianyun's injury. Even Yao Lao inside Xiao Yan's jade pendant felt helpless after exploring it. After another round of treatment, Xiao Yan and Xiao Qingyun stopped their hands at the same time, with solemn expressions on their faces. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 64. Xiao Suo is an alchemist and is also extremely good at healing. Xiao Yan is an alchemist, and with the help of the soul body in his body, it is easy to heal patients. Now after several people used their medical skills at the same time, they all showed solemn expressions at Xiao Tianyun's injury. Xiao Xian naturally knew the seriousness of the matter and hurriedly asked, "How is the situation?" Xiao Suo sighed, "Judging from the injury, it's not serious. It's just that an extremely important bone in his body was dug out. As a result, the body's functions are rapidly losing, and the wear and tear along the way has accelerated the loss of functions. Even if Xiao Yan and I have treated his other injuries, we can't prevent him from losing his functions. I'm afraid, it will only last a few days." When Xiao Tianyun heard this, he also knew that his end was coming, so he had no choice but to smile bitterly. But said nothing. Uncle Yuan on the side couldn't help it. He was bullied in the Lin family before, but now he has someone to support him. His young master still wanted to put the past events behind him. So he told everything about Xiao Tianyun. As a nephew of the Lin family, Xiao Tianyun is the best in the family in terms of strength and talent. Therefore, even after his uncle died, the Lin family did not drive him out due to interests. That day, Xiao Tianyun was tempering his body as usual, but for some reason he suddenly gave birth to a celestial bone. The birth of Tiangu is of great significance, so it is well hidden and cannot be easily detected even in the cave void realm. Xiao Tianyun didn't dare to tell even Uncle Yuan. However, what he didn't expect was that a peerless genius would suddenly be born in the Lin family. Even the elder who was half-stepping through the tribulation was released from seclusion because of this. I thought I would never run into him in my life. Unexpectedly, not only did they meet each other that day, but the existence of Tiangu was also discovered by the elder Banbutuja. When the genius learned about this, he had the intention of seizing the heavenly bones. The Lin family is a powerful clan. If the matter of the heavenly bones is leaked, the heavenly bones will definitely not fall into his hands. Therefore, the genius found a few people close to him and set a trap on Xiao Tianyun. Finally capturing the heavenly bones, Yuan Bo also discovered that Xiao Tianyun suddenly disappeared. Only then did he realize that something was wrong, and at the critical moment, he rescued Xiao Tianyun. In order to ensure that there would be no accidents in the Lin family's genius fusion of heavenly bones, those few people did not follow them. He just sent some men to chase him, but then he met Xiao Jiangxin. Everyone in the Xiao family was furious when they heard this. This genius of the Lin family is simply bullying others. Even Xiao Qingyun, the reincarnated empress, changed her expression after hearing about the birth of the heavenly bones. The heavenly bones can only be found but cannot be sought. Anyone who is born with heavenly bones, as long as they don't die, will be at a level above the Supreme Lord. In her previous life, she fought for a treasure with a cultivator of the same level who had a heavenly bone. She fought for 100 years before defeating him. The head of the family will personally come to resolve Lin family matters. The top priority is to treat Xiao Tianyuan first. Elder Xiao Suo, Xiao Yan, do you have any ideas? After hearing what Uncle Yuan said, Xiao Xian couldn't help but feel angry. It's just that compared to revenge, Xiao Tianyuan's life is more important. As for the genius of the Lin family, he will definitely make him pay a heavy price. Xiao Suo and Xiao Yan looked at each other, and they were helpless. Even Yao Lao inside the jade pendant sighed. Seeing this, Xiao Xian's expression became heavier. Heavenly bones. This is a heaven-defying qualification that is rare to be born in 10,000 years. Anyone who possesses heavenly bones is incomparable in strength. Even though I was already a heavenly lord in my previous life, it took a lot of effort to get rid of a heavenly bone cultivator who was eyeing him. For this reason, I also specially studied what happened to that damned heavenly bone, and I consulted the records of all heavens and worlds. I even searched for a few records from before the era, and then I learned that there is a way to treat people who had their heavenly bones dug out. Just when Xiao Junlin's inner world was extremely rich, he suddenly saw Xiao Xian looking at him with a gloomy face. Xiao Junlin suddenly trembled, looked at his body without any trace, and even touched his face. After confirming that there was nothing unusual, he looked at Xiao Xian with confusion. Why is this old bastard suddenly looking at me like this? There is nothing wrong with me. Could it be that he is in heat? It shouldn't be. Even if you are worried about your own genius, it is useless to look at me. I know the solution, but I don't know how to tell you. Besides, I am just an ordinary sweeper. Whether you believe what I say or not is a question. Just when everyone was silent, Xiao Xian suddenly looked at Xiao Junlin and said, "Looking at you, you seem to be very sure about this injury." Xiao Junlin was confused. Can Xiao Xian still see through things? Can you see his innermost thoughts? Master, I don't dare to go home. It's just because I have dull qualifications and have read many ancient books. I just happened to see the record about Tiangu, but I don't know what the final result will be. Xiao Junlin originally wanted to find an opportunity to talk to Xiao Xian. Since he has already taken the initiative to ask himself, he must say it. As for using excuses, he had already thought about it. Now that I have read through ancient books, I think this is a very good law. Please tell me. Everyone was very puzzled as to why Xiao Xian suddenly asked a deputy who was guarding the yard. And he still believed in what he said. Even Xiao Qingyun, who had obtained the secret records from before the era, found it very strange. Are there any records related to the heavenly bones in ordinary ancient books? This old bastard seems to believe in this heavenly lord. Although I would not deceive him, he must have been too sick and rushed to seek medical treatment. Master, the record in the ancient book is a prescription. This medicine can not only cure the injury, but also help him to cultivate again. Everyone was surprised when they heard this. I didn't expect that he really had a way. Speak quickly. Xiao Xian wanted to take a look at Xiao Junlin's brain at this moment, so that he didn't have to wait for his reply. Xiao Junlin suddenly felt excited all over, as if there was a murderous intention permeating the top of his head. It needs to be transformed into the bone marrow of an adult jade dragon, assisted by the 7-star 100-turn leaf, and the heart of an adult Tianqing Niuhuang. Combined with the fruits produced by the heavenly fire divine vine, and supplemented by these medicinal materials, his injuries can be cured. Anyway, I've already told you the prescription. It's up to you whether you believe it or not. When everyone heard about this prescription, they couldn't help but think about it. I just feel that Xiao Junlin just said a random method to deliberately embarrass them. After listening to Xiao Junlin's prescription, Yao Lao told Xiao Yan his thoughts, and he told everyone. This prescription can only be tried once. The fruit of the heavenly fire god vine bears fruit once every 10,000 years. It contains a trace of heavenly fire chi, which can keep the fire of life from extinguishing. The 7-star 100-turn leaf contains a vitality of creation, which can ensure that the vitality is not lost. The heart blood of the azure bull can lock in vitality, and the bone marrow of an adult jade dragon can neutralize the medicines in the world. To prevent any drug from backlash, the combination of these four can already restore its injuries. With the help of other drugs, it is really possible to practice again. Xiao Yan's words made Xiao Suo start to think seriously. He immediately combined these types of gestures, and it turned out to be exactly what Xiao Yan said. When Xiao Junlin heard Xiao Yan's words, he couldn't help but look at him. As expected of the genius of the Xiao family, in addition to being good at cultivation and refining elixirs, he also has extremely high attainments in medical skills. After getting a positive answer, Xiao Xian immediately asked people to start searching. Xiao Suo hugged Xiao Xian, "Master, the family has most of the medicinal materials. It's just that these four things, the adult sitting jade dragon, the 7-star 100-turn leaf, the azure ox mang, and the sky fire divine vine, are extremely difficult to find. Even the Xiao family today cannot possibly search them all." Xiao Xian frowned slightly. "Can't you find it in the entire Tianluo domain?" Xiao Jianfeng thought for a moment and said, "This adult-seated jade dragon is only found in the Jiaolong clan. However, the Jiaolong clan is a forbidden area in the Tianluo domain, and only those who are strong in tribulation are not allowed to enter. As for the azure bull, it existed in the Arctic Empire, but it was extremely rare and could only be obtained by the royal family. The heavenly fire divine vine is outside the Tianluo territory and may not even be found. As for the 7-star 100-turn leaf, it is in the Lin family, and there is only one. I'm afraid the Lin family won't give it to me easily." Hearing this, everyone looked a little heavy. They can all see Xiao Xian's contribution to the Xiao family. Now there is finally a chance to help him, but it is so difficult. No matter how hard they try, they can't find these four items. For Xiao Tianyuan, they could only say it was a pity. Xiao Tianyuan felt relieved when he saw this scene. He looked at Xiao Xian with a solemn expression and knew that he was really worried about him. "Uncle Xian, my nephew is already very happy to see you again and return to the Xiao family. Life or death is determined by fate. This is also my destiny. Everyone is grateful to Tianyuan for my kindness." "What are you talking about? That is depressing. It's not like we can't be saved." Xiao Jiangxin suddenly stepped forward and looked at Xiao Tianyuan firmly. "It's just a few medicinal herbs, you have to look for them even in difficult situations. I have had an encounter with the princess of the Arctic dynasty. Presumably she will help. Although the azure bull rogue is rare, it is not hard to find." What's more, he wanted to take this opportunity to repay Xiao Xian. As his life mentor, Xiao Xian has taught him too many things along the way. Now that he finally had such an opportunity, how could he give up? Xiao Xian also stepped forward at this time. Looking at the face similar to his elder brother, he felt moved in his heart. "As long as Uncle Xian is here, nothing will happen to you. Just rest in peace and recuperate." "But Uncle Xian," Xiao Tianyuan was anxious. "These things are extremely rare. If Xiao Xian wants to get these, he must work hard. It may even cost you your own life. Leave the heavenly fire divine vine and the sitting jade dragon to me, Kenshin, and the heavenly azure bullman will be left to you." Before Xiao Tianyuan could continue to speak, Xiao Xian had already arranged the matter. "Don't worry, Patriarch, I will definitely bring Tianqing Niu Mo back." Xiao Jiangxin looked at Xiao Xian firmly, then turned and left, heading to the Arctic Empire. "For the remaining 7-star 100-turn leaves, I will personally go to the Lin family to get them." When Xiao Xian said this, a trace of murderous intent quickly flashed in his eyes. "I'm afraid the Lin family won't give this thing away. If the Lin family doesn't give it, the head of the family will destroy his entire family. Just leave this matter to this family leader. You only need to prepare other medicinal materials. Everyone said nothing after hearing this. Xiao Xian never goes back on what he said. Xiao Junlin looked at Xiao Xian's leaving figure and couldn't help but complain in his heart. Looking like this, we are preparing to break through, I guess so. The Lin family has a strong man who is halfway through the calamity. Furthermore, the Dragon clan is not easy to deal with. If you want to get them, you really can't do it without strength. Xiao Xian returned to the room and entered the system directly to start receiving the rewards this time. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission and receiving 3 levels of cultivation rewards and a golden elixir. The family building is a mountainous medicine peak, the family's ancestral tomb, a high-grade spiritual field, a medium-grade spiritual mine, and a low-grade spiritual vein. Elixir Forging Ceremony 1, Divine Weapon Forging General Outline 1, Waning Moon Sword promoted to low-grade King-level Divine Weapon. Because the host has reached the 8th level of the Great Dao Realm, it will automatically break through the 9th level of the Great Dao Realm. After breaking through the Dongxi Realm, the system will automatically release the reserved 2 levels of cultivation. Golden Elixir, a special elixir for those who are powerful in the Great Dao Realm. It can help break through after taking it. Wanzang Medicine Peak, Wanzang High, containing medicinal herbs of all levels. Common medicinal materials are grown here. There is a chance to upgrade it to elixir, which will increase the survival rate of the herb with a high probability and add aura to the family. Ancestral Tomb, any descendant of the Xiao family who is buried here after death can add luck to the family, and a ghost can be born to protect the family. Elixir Forging Grand Ceremony, contains all elixir forging methods. General Outline of Divine Weapon Forging, contains all methods for forging divine weapons. After receiving the reward, Xiao Xian buried the Wanzang Yaofeng in the back mountain of his family. No one noticed the changes taking place at the back of the family and the rich aura. After completing this, Xiao Xian took the golden elixir to prepare for a breakthrough. When the elixir enters the body, countless Tao rhymes are rapidly transformed in the body. Xiao Xian did not dare to neglect and hurriedly started practicing. Xiao Tianyun's injury was also under control under the care of Xiao Suo and Xiao Yan. But if you want to be completely cured, you have to wait for all the medicinal materials to be collected. A month passed quickly. Xiao Xian's breakthrough also reached the most critical moment. On this day, a sudden change occurred above Xiao Xian's residence. A powerful coercion spread rapidly to the surroundings, thunder rolled from the sky, and colorful clouds flowed. All the surrounding spiritual energy gathered here, and this scene made countless people admire it. Is the head of the family going to break through the cave realm? It's not an exaggeration to say that this kind of pressure can help you overcome a catastrophe. How can we understand the master's power? However, when the 9 elders saw Xiao Xian making another breakthrough, they showed concern. If Xiao Xian's previous breakthrough was due to his unparalleled qualifications, that can still be explained. After all, who doesn't have an awesome person? But now, in just 5 years, Xiao Xian has broken through 3 major realms. Not to mention the sword energy, sword intention, and even the secrets of swordsmanship that he understood. This is something to be happy about in any family. But for all external forces, it is a big disaster. Although Xiao Xian's current strength is enough to fight against the strong men of Dongxi realm. After he breaks through, the challenge of leapfrogging is not a problem. But there is heaven outside the sky, and there are people outside the world. During this time, they discovered that the Xiao family was surrounded by spies from various forces. Obviously, Xiao Xian's strange breakthrough speed has attracted the attention of all forces. Coupled with Xiao Tianyun's arrival and his injuries, they felt like a storm was coming. Even Xiao Qingyun, the king of a country, rushed back this time. I'm afraid that the outside world is not peaceful. And this unrest is aimed at the Xiao family. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 65. Just when everyone couldn't help but think about this scene, another vision came from Xiao Xian's roof. Xiao Jiangxin stepped forward worriedly, fearing that something would happen to Xiao Xian. After all, if you break through the Dongxi realm in a month, your foundation will definitely be a little unstable. Xiao Junlin leaned aside with a broom and looked at the strange phenomenon on the roof of Xiao Xian's house. Breaking through 3 small realms in just 1 month is not a cultivation speed that a mortal can achieve. Xiao Xian, I am really becoming more and more curious about you. More and more people are doubting Xiao Xian's cultivation speed. Prodigies like Xiao Junlin and Xiao Qingyun even began to wonder if he was just like them. They are all reincarnations. Right now, a terrifying momentum rose into the sky, and another strange phenomenon was heard in the sky. Countless radiant lights disappeared at this moment, leaving only the surge of spiritual energy. Above the sky, there is an aura that cannot be seen or touched, but can be felt. There are things mixed together, born innately on the earth. Lonely, independent and unchanging. If you move around without danger, you can be the mother of heaven and earth. This ancient and long-lasting aura instantly enveloped everyone. There is nothing to hide from its sight. Heaven takes the Dharma, and the Dao is pure and natural. An ancient voice came from all directions. You can only hear its sound but not see its shadow. Everyone in the Xiao family couldn't help being shocked, and their expressions changed drastically. Is this the master's destiny? It's simply too terrifying. Xiao Jiangxin's eyes flickered, and countless sword energy surged around him. I am even more determined to chase Xiao Xian. Xiao Yan stood quietly in his yard, watching the vision coming from Xiao Xian. The medicine aged into a solid form and stood beside him, and he couldn't help but sigh. This aura faintly contains the aura of the Tao of the Law of Heaven. If he does not die, he will definitely rule the void in the future. Xiao Yan's eyes were heavy. Junlin void, I can do it in the future too. Xiao Qingyun was sitting in his yard at this time, rubbing the remaining scroll from this era in his hand. As the king of a country, she is also a proud member of the Xiao family. Therefore, the treatment is no different from other geniuses. Looking at the vision coming from Xiao Xian's room, Xiao Qingyun's expression became more solemn. It seems that the head of the family is really the reincarnation of that old monster from before the era. Inside Xiao Yanyeo's yard. Looking at the movements on Xiao Xian's side, his fighting spirit was high at this moment. Sure enough, only people like Master Xiao can compete with me. Talented people like Xiao Jiangxin are only temporarily ahead of me. When I grow up, even Xiao Xian today will not be able to compete with me. Sure enough, I still have to compete with strong people to stimulate my fighting spirit. Perhaps it was caused by the strange phenomenon that occurred when Xiao Xian made a breakthrough. Xiao Yanyeo's domineering physique makes him talk nonsense all the time. Just when everyone was talking about it, Xiao Xian's body has undergone great changes. I saw a half-armless giant appearing behind Xiao Xian. The giant had a bun on his head and was wearing half a yellow Buddha shirt. On the exposed half of the arm, there is a long golden dragon entwined on it. It's actually a Tathagata Buddha statue. What is different from the Tathagata Buddha statue is the aura of Tao radiating between his eyebrows and eyes. When the Tathagata statue disappeared, the boundless pressure gradually returned to Xiao Xian's body. When he opened his eyes, one eye was the color of the scorching sun and the other was black. It's like black and white. The Tathagata's Dharma contains the power of Buddha and Tao, which can increase combat power by 3,650 times. And the improvement of the natal Dharma sign is 99,999, which can be said to be invincible in life. Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh. Now he is extremely confident in his own strength. Ordinary people's combat power to break through the cave virtual realm is 100 times, but he can reach 3,650 times. Looking at the entire sky, No one can match this heaven-defying fighting power. Even if he was fighting against the Lin family at this time, he still had an absolute advantage. Name, Xiao Xian. Identity, head of the Xiao family. Cultivation realm, 3rd level of Dongxi realm. Magic weapon, low-grade king-level waning moon sword. Martial skills, Tianyu Xianfeng sword technique. After completing the practice, you can reach the top of the immortal way, the powerful Wolong. After completing the practice, you can cut the void with the sword, 8-stage slash, the 3rd level. Exotic treasures, jade pendant and ring of the head of the family. Family buildings, Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Family Residence, 10,000 Swords Grotto, 1000 Buddha Hall, Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, Wanzhang Medicine Peak, and Family Ancestral Tombs. Supernatural powers, Bei's Hang, Sword Domain, Poji, Power Breaking 10,000s, Aurora, Invincibility, Extreme Speed, Critical Hit. Dharma Sign of Birth, Tathagata Dharma Sign, 3,650 times increase. After checking his own situation, Xiao Xian decided to leave seclusion. As soon as he opened the door, he saw the 9 elders waiting at the door. The 9 elders breathed a sigh of relief when they saw Xiao Xian successfully came out of seclusion. And I was happy for him from the bottom of my heart. Even so, there was still a trace of worry on his face. With Xiao Xian's cultivation speed, they were really worried that someone would covet him. Xiao Tianyun's incident is already a precedent. Xiao Xian naturally knew what they were worried about. As long as I'm here, nothing will happen. His cultivation speed may not be anything in the eyes of people like Xiao Qingyun and Xiao Junlin. After all, in all the worlds they have experienced, such qualifications are nothing. But this is just the mortal world, and his cultivation speed has attracted the attention of many people. Those people's concern for the realm of cultivation has obviously gradually surpassed that of exotic treasures. Especially the Blood Knife sect and the Great Thunder Holy Temple. The Blood Knife sect has been severely damaged by him, but there has been no movement for so long. I'm afraid it's already lurking in the dark and will rush out at any moment to strangle his lifeline. There is also the Great Thunder Temple, ever since he killed the Zen Master in the Great Dao realm. Neither of them saw any action from the other party, as if that thing didn't exist. Both are too peaceful. Calm, unlike their code of conduct. And once this calm is broken, it will be an almost devastating crisis. This had to make Xiao Xian alert. With the attention of many forces, this trip to the Dragon Clan will definitely cause an uproar. This trip must be done quickly. After Xiao Xian explained some things to the 9 elders, he took a look at Xiao Tianyun's injuries. He went directly to the forbidden area of the back mountain of the Jiaolong clan and arrived in 7 days. Today, there is no trace of the real dragon in Tianzhou. Although the Dragon Clan is a pseudo-dragon clan, there is still a trace of true dragon blood in their blood. The real dragon was synonymous with terror during that period. Even though the Dragon Clan is a pseudo-dragon, it still has a trace of real dragon blood in its blood. And it makes countless people fearful. To avoid unnecessary things happening, Xiao Xian concealed his body and aura, and slowly entered the forbidden area behind the Dragon Clan. Sudden. A burst of dragon roar echoed through the sky. Immediately afterwards, 4 dragons from the cave realm appeared in the sky, following Xiao Xian with murderous intent. Xiao Xian did not expect that the Dragon Clan would be so cautious. He actually set a restriction on the jade bone of the dragon that had just been transformed into his hands. It attracted 4 pseudo-dragons from the cave void realm, no matter how hard he tried to escape. He was still locked by these 4 pseudo-dragons in the cave void realm. Who is here? How dare you steal the bone marrow of our ancestors from the Dragon Clan? Not even the great Luo Immortal can save you today. The 4 pseudo-dragons never imagined that someone would break into their forbidden area in the back mountain and steal bone marrow. Following all the way, the overwhelming killing intent gradually locked onto Xiao Xian's figure. Xiao Xian frowned slightly, even though he didn't want to cause trouble. It must be resolved quickly. If other dragons are provoked, it will be even more difficult. The waning moon sword in his hand was immediately unsheathed, and a golden sword light cut through the sky and went directly behind him. When the four pseudo-dragons saw the scene and knew about this sword, they suddenly felt that something was not good. When the sword light dissipated, the four pseudo-dragons also stopped. Seeing Xiao Xian's figure receding away, several people quickly turned around, determined to inform the pseudo-dragon clan about this. But when they took action, there was a sword wound on the dragon's body. If it were a little deeper, they could be killed on the spot. However, Xiao Xian did not pay attention to these things behind him. Seeing that the Jiaolong clan no longer pursued him, they turned back and headed towards the Lin family. It's time to pay off the debts of the Lin family. Xiao Xian no longer concealed his momentum and rushed directly towards the Lin family in Dongyuan City. The powerful Dongxi realm momentum attracted the attention of countless people. It attracted a lot of eyebrows and discussions along the way. It turns out that a powerful person from the cave realm has arrived. This killing intent can scare me even from a long distance. This aura comes from Tianzhou. I don't know whose family provoked such a powerful person. A strong man in the cave void realm is really powerful, and he doesn't even bother to hide his breath. Some were surprised, while others were disdainful. But it's just a cave. There are hundreds of them in our Dongyunchinj cave. He came here just to die. Tianzhou. Wow, it's just a small place that's not worth mentioning. How dare you come to Dongyuan City to run wild? Have they forgotten what happened back then? Even if they forget, the city lord of Dongyuan City will not forget it. The city lord even issued an order prohibiting people from Tianzhou from entering. If you dare to come here for the first time in Dongxi realm, you are not afraid of being instantly killed by the city lord of the 6th level of Dongxi realm. You are overestimating your own abilities. For a moment, everyone was sneering, and they really didn't pay attention to Xiao Xian's intrusion. I am even more looking forward to how Xiao Xian will die here. At this moment, a roaring roar sounded in the air. And get out of here, Lord. After saying that, a monstrous coercion instantly came towards Xiao Xian, suppressing him. This person is the Lord of Dongyuan City. Seeing this, everyone had a look of admiration and awe on their faces. However, when Xiao Xian saw that his way was blocked, anger suddenly rose in his heart. Seeing the opponent take action directly, he even drew his sword and faced him without saying a word. Anyone who stands in my way will die. The last word death resounded through the sky, echoing in the air for a long time. At the same time, accompanied by a sword energy, it stabbed directly towards the Lord of Dongyuan City. The Lord of Dongyuan City did not expect Xiao Xian's sword moves to be so powerful. Before he could continue to speak, he saw a golden sword light coming towards him. The sword was so powerful that he didn't even have time to react. In the end, in full view of everyone, the Lord of Dongyuan City was killed with a sword. The Lord of Dongyuan City never thought that he would die. But the opponent only used one sword. However, this was not the end, the sword light penetrated directly through his body. Stretching for dozens of miles, the city lord's mansion behind him was also destroyed. Everyone was still immersed in seeing the aloof attitude of the Tianzhou people. Before the expression on his face could even react, the city lord's mansion was destroyed. Even the city lord is dead. He didn't even resist. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 66. After doing all this, Xiao Xian rushed directly towards the Lin family. Countless people slowly reacted. I'll go. That's the city lord of Dongyun City. It's said that he had a cultivation level of the 6th level of Dongxi realm, but he died like this. This is nowhere near the cave realm. It can only be said to be a half step through the tribulation. The city lord of Dongyun City once fought against and defeated several cultivators of the 7th level of Dongxi realm. He actually died under this sword today. I have to say that the power of this sword is really terrifying. I don't know which sect it is that actually provokes such a powerful human cave virtual realm. I'm afraid he is invincible even at the same level. For a moment, everyone sighed and were shocked by Xiao Xian's powerful strength. Looking at the city lord's mansion that was instantly razed to the ground, he clicked his tongue repeatedly. At this time, they no longer looked as aloof as before. He didn't even dare to look down on the people from Tianzhou, even the Dongxi realm who were ready to take action. After seeing this scene, I was glad that I gave up and didn't help the lord of Dongyun City. Otherwise, they will become a dead body just like the lord of Dongyun City. This man's swordsmanship is so powerful that it would not be an exaggeration to say he is a legendary swordsman. It won't take long for his name to spread throughout the Tianluo territory. This is the first time I have seen a swordsman of this level after living for hundreds of years. Someone with good intentions used the probing method to follow Xiao Xian's figure all the way. Realizing that the other party was actually heading towards the Lin family, he couldn't help but shout loudly. Look! That man is heading to the Lin family. I don't know what the Lin family has done to provoke him. The Lin family? It can't be the Lin family, right? Some people couldn't believe it and exclaimed loudly. Apart from them in the whole is who else is the Lin family? Another person patted his head speechlessly. No. Is he looking for bad luck or trouble for himself? Many people were shocked when they heard the news and instantly became energetic. The Lin family has a strong man who can overcome the calamity in half a step. No matter how powerful his sword moves are, he may not be able to overcome the calamity in half a step. This is really interesting. I seem to have witnessed an unprecedented decisive battle. Do you think his sword moves are more powerful, or is it the strong man who can overcome the tribulation in half a step? Which one is strong and which one is weak? You will know if you go and take a look. Ha ha ha, what Xiangtai said is absolutely true. Everyone, I'll go first. Without saying a word, someone jumped into the air and headed towards the Lin family. Seeing this, everyone around could not restrain their curiosity. They all followed that man to Lin's house. Seeing this, other good people also followed him. However, no matter how fast they were still not as fast as 1/10,000th of Xiao Xian's. Even those powerful men in the cave void realm were far behind Xiao Xian. Seeing this scene, several people once again had a new understanding of Xiao Xian's strength. They and Xiao Xian are cultivators of the same level. Those who were still watching saw this scene. They no longer hesitated and followed in the footsteps of their predecessors. For a time, streams of light flashed in the sky, attracting the attention of countless people. At the same time, everyone in the Lin family gathered in the back hill of the Lin family. Even the 6th elder and the 8th elder, whose cultivation was abolished, were pushed here in wheelchairs. Everyone in the Lin family couldn't bear to see the two elders being tortured to this point. They hate the Xiao family even more. The 6th elder and the 8th elder have made countless contributions to their family. But now it becomes like this. And they also know that the two elders cannot die even if they want to. Because Xiao Xian's sword energy was raging in their bodies, which was torture in disguise. They also wanted to go over and avenge the two elders, but the two elders insisted on waiting until their ancestor came out of seclusion. At that time, the whole family will use their strength to go to the Xiao family to seek revenge. And this is the main reason why the Lin family has done nothing during this period. They had already realized Xiao Xian's terror from the two elders. Finally, under the eyes of countless people, a stone gate in the back mountain slowly opened. A middle-aged man came out of the cave. This person is Lin Xiao, the ancestor of the Lin family. Seeing this, everyone stepped forward to salute, and the anger in their hearts could finally dissipate a little. Lin Xiao laughed when he saw this. He gave a hand and said, "Please get up quickly. Although we haven't achieved a breakthrough this time, I have found the key to a breakthrough. I will definitely be able to achieve a breakthrough next time I retreat." Lin Jiao was very confident in himself, and everyone was very happy when they heard this. "Where's Shan'er? Why don't you see him here?" Lin Jiao looked around and found no sign of Lin Shan, so he asked about Lin Shan's father. Seeing this, Lin Shan's father hurriedly stepped forward and saluted Lin Xiao. Returning to the ancestors, Lin Shan was chosen by the Xuanlun mansion because he successfully fused the heavenly bones. Now that he has started practicing there, even the princess of the imperial dynasty is attracted to him. Lin Jiao was overjoyed when he heard the news. Shan'er actually has such an opportunity. What a good thing. Xuanlun Mansion is one of the powerful sect forces in the Tianluo domain, and it is rumored that there is a Tao-killing king in charge. Being favored by the princess of the imperial dynasty means that they have the support of the imperial dynasty, and it also gives the Lin family a stronger backing. Just as Lin Jiao was immersed in joy, he suddenly noticed that everyone in the Lin family had bitterness on their faces. When his eyes fell on the sixth elder and the eighth elder, his expression suddenly changed. The people around him also took the initiative to give way to Lin Xiao. At this time, they could not say anything. "Old 6. Old 8. You, how did you become like this? Who did it?" Lin Jiao's whole body erupted with a monstrous killing intent, and all the cultivation of a half-step tribulation expert exploded at this moment. The sixth elder and the eighth elder immediately covered their faces and cried, their unwillingness and hatred revealed. The two of them recounted what happened that day in tears. Lin Jiao was furious when he heard this and said hello 3 times. "What a Tianzhou, what a Xiao family! How dare you hurt members of my Lin family? And you even threatened to destroy my entire Lin family. Excellent. Then let me see who killed whom." Everyone in the Lin family listened to the order and immediately set off for the Xiao family. It is difficult for me to destroy the Xiao family and understand the hatred in my heart. Destroy the Xiao family. Destroy the Xiao family. Everyone was shocked when they heard this, and the anger that was originally pressing on their hearts suddenly found a place to vent. Seeing this scene, the 2 elders around him also cried with joy. They were finally able to take revenge. However, they haven't waited for them to set off. Lin Jiao suddenly felt a mysterious aura appearing over the Lin family. Who is here? He hasn't shown up yet. Then he waved his palms in the air. However, what greeted him was a sword energy. After colliding with the sword energy, Lin Jiao's hands were trembling faintly. Looking at the sky above, Lin Jiao looked gloomy. Who is it that has such a powerful sword energy? Even he couldn't resist it? The hands hanging on his sides had become numb at this moment. If he hadn't suppressed it, his trembling hands would have been seen. Everyone in the Lin family was furious when they saw this scene. As one of the largest families in Lizhu, they also have an ancestor who has half-stepped through the tribulation. The genius of the family even went to Xuanlun Mansion to practice cultivation, and had an imperial dynasty background. There are still people who come to find trouble without overestimating their abilities. It's really looking for death. Who dares to come to my Lin family to offend me? Why don't you show up now that you're here? Maybe you're just bluffing. Get down quickly and kowtow to admit your mistake. We can spare your life. Otherwise, we will destroy your entire clan. Get off. For a time, several cave void realm cultivators shouted into the air, all of them arrogant in their words. Just when everyone was yelling, a mellow and deep voice sounded in the air and stretched in all directions. Xiao Xian of the Xiao family, come and destroy the family. Xiao Xian's voice woke up the silent strong men around him, and they all turned their attention here. The Xiao family is really here. Countless people were shocked. The Lin family has been in the limelight recently. If the Xiao family comes to take revenge now, isn't it asking for death? I heard that Lin Shan, the genius of the Lin family, not only became a disciple of the Xuanlun mansion, but was also favored by the king of Daozhan. Even the princess of the imperial dynasty had a favorable impression of him. Quick, let's go over there and take a look. Don't miss this good fight. After hearing this, countless people rushed to Lin's house. At this time, everyone in the Lin family suddenly became furious after hearing what Xiao Xian said. The killing intent gathered together and shot straight into the sky. It's really ridiculous. A person with a mere third-level cultivation of Dongxi realm dares to say such a thing. How can we, the Lin family, be destroyed at your request? If I don't show you some color today, you really think that my Lin family is easy to bully? My Lin family has been standing in Lizhu for 100 years, and this is the first time I have heard from a cultivator of the third level of Dongxi realm that they want to destroy the Lin family. It's really ridiculous. Even ants dare to come out and make noise. It's simply overestimating their own capabilities. For a moment, everyone in the Lin family was furious and cursed at Xiao Xian. The sixth elder and the eighth elder grinned even more, their eyes were bloodshot, and their hands like dry wood tightly grasped the handle of the wheelchair. Boundless resentment burst out from his eyes, as if he wanted to kill him with his eyes. Lin Jiao flew into the air in anger and looked at Xiao Xian, who was fighting against him. You are the one who deposed the two elders of my Lin family. Even if you have the ability to depose cultivators at the same level, it only proves that your strength is good. Don't think that this will make you lawless. I haven't settled the score with you yet, but you brought it to your door yourself. Xiao Xian did not show any emotion in the face of Lin Jiao's angry rebuke. Even the third level of Dongxi realm is enough to destroy your Lin family. Lin Jiao was furious when he heard this, and instantly burst out with the pressure of a strong man who was half a step beyond the tribulation. With a wave of his big palm, he gathered the momentum of half step to overcome the tribulation and headed towards Xiao Xian. The wind and clouds suddenly changed, the sky thundered, and this palm was enough to level a country. Xiao Xian's sword attack just now made him defensive, so when he made the move this time, Lin Jiao almost tried his best. His eyes swept over the waning moon sword in Xiao Xian's hand. The sword is a good sword, but it's a pity that the sword is not suitable for people. Your cultivation level is not worthy of such a king-level magic weapon, so you might as well give it to me. Facing such a killing move, Xiao Xian remained very calm. His eyes were very flat. With a wave of the waning moon sword, a magnificent sword energy cut through the sky and headed towards Lin Jiao with terrifying sword power. The sword energy collided with the big palm, sending out an extremely fierce aftershock. Lin Jiao has full confidence in his palm. Xiao Xian will definitely die under this palm. However, the smile at the corner of his mouth froze instantly before it spread. I saw that his palm was split into two and turned into nothingness. But the sword energy did not weaken at all, and even came towards him. The terrifying power of the sword actually filled him with fear. Lin Jiao's eyes suddenly widened and he stepped back hastily. At this time, several Dongxi realm elders who had been watching saw this scene. They all rose into the air and headed towards Xiao Xian. Lin Jiao felt something was wrong and hurriedly stopped the elders. Do not come. However, he was still one step late. I saw the 8 elders attacking Xiao Xian together. Xiao Xian, suffer death. Are we afraid that we can't take you down if the 8 of us join forces? Today is your death day. Death to me. The 8 elders attacked Xiao Xian together with confidence in victory. In their eyes, no matter how powerful Xiao Xian was, he would never be able to defeat the 8 cave void realm cultivators working together. He could still escape unharmed, but even if he didn't die, he would definitely be severely injured. Xiao Xian calmly looked at the 8 cave virtual realm elders who attacked him at the same time. The corners of his mouth slowly curved. I saw him swing a sword. A sword light shot out and cut through the void. In the shocked eyes of countless people, the 8 elders' killing move was broken by Xiao Xian's sword. However, the sword light had not dissipated yet, and it went directly towards the 8 elders, killing them one by one. The body and head were separated, and even the limbs couldn't tell who belonged to whom. The endless sword intent devoured their souls, and even their souls were destroyed. There is no chance of reincarnation anymore. The strong man who came here first happened to see this scene. They were immediately shocked and speechless, and they even hesitated whether to go and watch. Such a sword, even if the opponent is a strong man at the peak of Dongxi realm, cannot resist it. Lin Jiao looked up to the sky and screamed. His eyes were cracked, staring at Xiao Xian with great resentment and hatred. Xiao Xian, you actually killed the 8 elders of my Lin family. Today I will cut you into pieces. Revenge for the 8 elders. At this moment, all the coercion of Lin Jiao's half-step catastrophe power burst out. Boundless coercion circulated in the void and came towards Xiao Xian to suppress it. At this time, he only had one idea, and that was to kill Xiao Xian. Facing such a move, Xiao Xian still looked calm. He was seen holding the sword in both hands, with the waning moon sword raised above his head. Sword kills the immortal and opens the sky. The indifferent voice echoed in the air, and Xiao Xian's figure flashed past Lin Xiao. It was also driven by that sharp sword energy. When Xiao Xian's figure stabilized, the sword light also disappeared. However, Lin Xiao's body did not move in place, and even the expression on his face did not change at all. Then in everyone's sight, countless sword lights burst out from Lin Xiao's body. What followed was an explosion, and Lin Xiao's body also turned into nothingness in the explosion. A strong man who had overcome the calamity in half a step died under Xiao Xian's sword. There is no strong person in charge of the Lin family anymore. Seeing the scene in front of them, countless people were shocked. This is not the god of killing, it is clearly the god of demons. Then Xiao Xian turned around and walked towards the Lin family, looking at the 2 elders sitting in wheelchairs. The smile at the corner of his mouth became more gentle. Do you 2 elders still like my gift? Back then, I said that I would spare your lives and watch the Lin family be wiped out with my own eyes. The 6th elder and the 8th elder watched Xiao Xian walking toward them step by step. The battle in Tianzhou that day suddenly came to mind again. In addition, the death of the 8th elder and Lin Jiao was too horrific, and the 2 of them looked at Xiao Xian's eyes. It's all fear and disappointment, right now. The vitality in the 2 men suddenly disappeared, and even when they died, their eyes widened. When Xiao Xian saw that the 2 of them were dead, he stopped talking nonsense. He directly swung the waning moon sword and slashed in the air. The boundless sword light instantly enveloped the sky over the Lin family. Among the shocked eyes of countless people, as well as the astonishment of everyone in the Lin family, a sword light that stretched for millions of miles wiped out the entire Lin family. Xiao Yan looked at the scene in front of him indifferently. He didn't feel anything was wrong. If he didn't take action, it would be his Xiao family who would end up like this. And he had already experienced all this with his own eyes many years ago, so how could he let it appear before him again? It's just the law of survival in this world. If you want to live forever in the world and not be bullied, you can only become stronger. Only when you become stronger can you have the right to speak in this world. Then Xiao Xian came to the Lin family treasure house with his sword in hand. With the swing of the sword, the reinforced restrictions were shattered. Using his chaotic pupils, Xiao Xian saw the place where the 7-star 100-turn leaf was placed. At the moment when the treasure house is opened, the huge resources inside attracted the attention of countless people. No one dares to say not to be greedy for such resources. If it had been anyone else, they might have swarmed up and looted it. However, the opponent was Xiao Xian, a man who relied on the cultivation of the 3rd level of Dongxi realm. He can kill 8K virtual realm elders and a murderous god who can overcome calamity in half a step. Even if they want to, they don't have the guts. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 67. Xiao Xian looked at the resources in front of him with a dull expression. He took the treasure he wanted and left here directly. As for what will happen next, that's not what he wants to know. Now that the medicinal materials for treating injuries are basically complete, he urgently needs to rush back. Let Xiao Yan and Xiao Suo help Xiao Tianyun treat his injuries. After confirming that Xiao Xian has left here, only then did the people hiding in the darkness come out. Everyone looked at the ruins in front of them and sighed. The Lin family, which had a strong man who was halfway through the tribulation, was gone just like that. Not long after, those who rushed to watch the unprecedented battle between the Lin family and the swordsman in white also arrived at the scene. It's just that they didn't expect that they missed the best part. Only the Lin family could be seen, which had been turned into ruins. Then these latecomers and the onlookers who watched the entire process began to discuss. Everyone was shocked to know the beginning and end of the matter. The Lin family is gone like this. It's really unbelievable. Yesterday, it was a powerful family that shocked a powerful family. Today, it has become a ruin. Even the long history will not have his record. The world is really changing. I met him just now when I came here. Fortunately, I didn't mock him and run away. The speaker is still a little scared. While countless people were shocked by the demise of the Lin family, they also lamented Xiao Xian's powerful strength. Suddenly someone pointed at the open treasure house. Although the swordsman in white destroyed the Lin family has so many resources that he can't take them all by himself. Yes, we might be able to share some resources if we go there. As the Lin family has been a century-old family, the resources will not be much worse. When one voice comes out, countless voices respond. What's more, this voice responded to their hearts. So everyone rushed towards the Lin family, which was already in ruins. Once again, a storm was stirred up. However, after a quarter of an hour, the storm stopped again. Everyone who was originally in high spirits came out of the treasure house with angry expressions on their faces. Bah! One person can take so much and not be afraid of dying. Someone in the crowd made a comment that caused an uproar. Looking at the resources at hand, it would be a pity to throw them away, but it would not be of much use if we did not throw them away. But the resentment can only be kept in the heart, and I definitely don't have the guts to pursue him. The news that the Lin family was destroyed also spread throughout Tianluo territory immediately. Everyone who received the news was shocked. No one could have imagined that a century-old family would be wiped out overnight. And the person who destroyed the Lin family was actually only a third-level cultivator of the Dongxi realm. Now only Lin Shan is left in the entire Lin family. Xiao Xian's name has also spread throughout the Tianluo domain, and countless people have remembered the swordsman in white. At this moment, a conspiracy involving the Xiao family and Xiao Xian was quietly unfolding. Lingzhu is a holy place for Buddhist and Taoist practice. Everyone here believes in Buddhism, studies Buddhism, and spreads Buddhism. If you have Buddhist roots, you can be accepted as a Buddhist disciple. However, it is such a holy place where Buddhists travel everywhere, but its development is far less good than other places. Apart from daily food and clothing issues, there is almost no other productivity. And their purpose for doing all this is to hope that they can reach the paradise of Elysium as soon as possible after death. The number of Buddhist believers in Dalai Holy Temple is the first among several major Buddhist temples. Not only does it have many believers, it also has the largest area and Buddhist temple. At this time, several enlightened monks in the Great Thunder Monastery were sitting together, discussing matters in the Tianluo domain. The Xiao family's investigation results have now come out. An old monk smiled slightly and then looked at the other two people in front of him. Please also ask Holy Monk Chwaywen to inform you of the final result. Chwexiao was pleasantly surprised when he heard this. Senior Monk Chwaywen, tell me quickly, we have been waiting for this matter about the Xiao family for too long. Monk Chwaywen also agreed. Holy Monk Chwaywen knocked the wooden fish on his hand and smiled kindly. Based on the results of this investigation, the poor monk discovered that Xiao Xian had obtained the most precious treasure of the Kailan sect. He has obtained supreme resources, so his rapid improvement in cultivation can be explained. With the Kailan sect's treasure in hand, the children of the Xiao family and the development of the family will be able to develop so quickly. And all of this is not the most important thing. According to previous data, the main reason why Kailan sect has developed so rapidly is it's not the unique resources, but the ancient sacred tree called the Tree of Life. This sacred tree not only has spiritual roots, but can also help cultivators develop spiritual roots. Even the fruit can help with breakthrough cultivation. The above is enough to prove that the Xiao family relies on the Tree of Life to make continuous breakthroughs. Hearing the words of Holy Monk Chwaywen, the eyes of other holy monks instantly lit up with light. The Kailan sect was synonymous with power at the time, and at its peak, it was even looked down upon by the empire. If they could obtain this magic weapon, wouldn't the Great Thunder Holy Temple be comparable to it? It will even develop better than the original Kailan sect. Thinking of this, a seed slowly sprouted in the hearts of the three old monks and grew vigorously. The holy monk Chwaywen counted with his fingers and sighed. I watched the sky last night, and just now I counted with my fingers and found that the territory of Tianzhou has been shrouded in demonic energy. The Xiao family is undoubtedly the most serious. It seems that the head of the Xiao family, Xiao Xian, has fallen into the devil's path. If it is allowed to continue to grow, I am afraid that the entire Tianzhou will be affected. As Buddhist disciples, we should eliminate harm for the people, not to mention that the other party is a demon cultivator. As the saying goes, saving one life is better than building a 7-level pagoda. Although we took action a little late, we can still save everyone in the world. This is a great good thing, Amitabha. What do you think, saintly monks? Seeing Holy Monk Chwaywen speaking like this, Holy Monk Chwaywen on the side clasped his hands and followed suit. As the saying goes, if I don't go to hell, who will? To be able to save the Xiao family and the rest is our duty. The other holy monks also echoed, now that Xiao Xian is deeply possessed by the devil, all we can do is to let him reach bliss as soon as possible and refine his devilish nature. All the holy monks responded immediately, with a look of righteousness on their faces. There is no trace of guilt at all, it seems that what they are doing is really eliminating harm for the people. Holy Monk Chwaywen was used to this, so he shook his head and sighed slightly. It's just that the Kailan sect's treasure has been known to all the major forces, and it will only make more people go crazy. We want to bring the Kailan sect's treasure back for purification, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. Everyone frowned slightly when they heard this, and at this moment, their eyes all showed hatred. There is no sign of a kind-hearted eminent monk at all. Before they could speak, Holy Monk Chwaywen continued to add. But you don't have to worry too much. In order to successfully bring the Kailan sect's treasure back for purification, I have invited Monk Wang to come for support. The only one who can be called a king monk is the king of Killing Dao. And the only king monk in their Great Thunder Holy Temple is the one from the back mountain. After everyone heard this, they immediately became confident in purifying the Kailan sect's treasure this time. With the addition of the king of Zhan Dao, even other forces, even the imperial dynasty, must give them 3 points of thin face. You just have to wait for the news from the poor monk. The other major forces are also ready. After saying this, Holy Monk Chwaywen began to chant sutras and worship Buddha, as if he was saving Xiao Xian in advance. The Blood Knife sect, which had been missing for a long time, also made some movement at this time. At this moment, the three major leaders of the blood knife sect were also gathered in a dark cave. There was a strong rotten smell all around, and all kinds of skeletons were piled up in every corner. The three leaders sat respectfully at the bottom, waiting for instructions from the one on the throne. You can't all be blamed for the splitting of religions in Tianzhou. Even I didn't think of it. That Xiao Xian of the Xiao family will actually obtain the most precious treasure of the Kailan section. Now you have some time to cultivate yourself and recuperate. The forces outside have also begun to target the Xiao family. This time they are dispatched, it will be the occasion when the Xiao family will be wiped out. I will send 3 great masters of the tribulation realm to go there at that time. You just need to wait for the news and set off together. The 3 major leaders were surprised. It's just the Xiao family. Isn't it too cautious to send out the tribulation realm master? The shadow on the throne snorted coldly. The 3 great masters of the tribulation realm are not here to deal with the Xiao family, but they are here to seize the treasure. As for the destruction of the Xiao family, that is your business. If necessary, I will come in person. Now that all the major forces have set their sights on the Kailan sect's most precious treasure, let alone the mighty master of the tribulation realm appearing by then. Even the king of Zandao will go there, and seizing the Kailan sect's treasure is no small matter. If our blood knife sect can obtain this treasure, our strength will surely rise to a great level. After hearing this, the 3 major leaders realized the importance of the matter. Salute respectfully to the shadow on the throne. After the shadow left, the 3 of them then stood up. I didn't expect this Kailan sect's treasure to be so powerful. This kind of treasure must belong to our Kailan sect. At the same time, the Dragon clan is also discussing this matter. The person who took away my ancestors' bone marrow this time was none other than Xiao Xian of the Xiao family in Tianzhou. According to the investigation results, the Xiao family has been targeted by various major forces recently, and even invited the Dao Slayer King. I also sent a team there, hoping to capture the Kailan sect's treasure. In the center of Tianluo domain, there is a Zhuanlun mansion that has stood for more than 1,000 years. Everyone in the Tianluo realm can practice cultivation, and the least of them are in the spirit-nurturing realm. The reason why Zhuanlun mansion has been able to stand for many years is not only its own strength. What's more, they have a powerful half-step Supreme Master sitting at their disposal. Once it breaks through the threshold of the Supreme Lord, it will be the top existence in the entire continent. The Yuhang Emperor also sent members of the royal family to practice here thousands of miles away. In a courtyard, Lin Shan, who had just been accepted as a disciple by the king of Zhandao, was filled with murderous intent. He just learned the news that the Lin family was wiped out, and even the ancestor was killed by Xiao Xian. Now that he was the only one left in the entire Lin family, how could he not hate him? At this moment, a petite and cute woman opened the door and walked in. The moment Lin Shan saw the woman, his expression changed instantly. Lin Shan, you have to express your condolences. No one wants to see the Lin family wiped out. I know you must be very sad. I have told my father about this. He feels sorry for you and is willing to send troops to avenge you. Also, the Supreme Elder of Zhuanlun Mansion has also held a meeting to prepare to deal with the Xiao family and avenge you. Hearing this, Lin Shan squeezed out 2 tears and nodded to the woman to thank her. Thank you, little princess. As long as I can help you, I'm willing to do anything, the woman smiled shyly. Lin Shan reached out and touched her head, his eyes filled with adoration. It's great to have you here, but I want to be alone today. Can you go back first? When I feel better, I'll go find you, okay? The woman nodded, glanced at Lin Shan with a flushed face, and then left quickly. When the woman left, Lin Shan's face instantly turned gloomy. He watched the woman leaving indifferently. Humph, if I hadn't seen that you are a natural furnace and can help me practice, how could I be so humble in front of you? When I reach the pinnacle of Dao realm, I will practice with you as a furnace. Not only will I be able to break through Dongxi realm, even the level of cultivation is not the same. Even the Xuanlun Palace has to look at me. As for the reason why your father wants to help me take revenge, it's just because he likes the Kylin sex treasure. As for the Lin family, if the family is wiped out, the whole family will be wiped out. Now that his cultivation speed is increasing day by day, in addition to the ancestor, he has the value of being able to take a high look. The rest of the people, are just a hindrance, and they will slow him down. And the heartbroken look in the scene just now was just an act. In his eyes, the Lin family is just a stepping stone for him to take off. At the same time, Tianluo territory and even Tianzhou. With the action of all major forces, a conspiracy against the Xiao family slowly emerged. But the Xiao family doesn't have much thought to govern these things at the moment. When Xiao Xian returned to the Xiao family, he immediately asked Xiao Yan and Xiao Suo to start treating Xiao Tianyuan. This old bastard is really quite skilled. He has managed to fix such difficult things. This Xiao Tianyuan is really tough and can hold on until Xiao Xian comes back, but something seems to be awakening in this kid's body. If he wakes up successfully, he may become the next old bastard. Xiao Xian naturally heard Xiao Junlin's inner thoughts. But he had no intention of taking charge of these at the moment. He just wanted to know the extent of Xiao Tianyuan's injury. If he couldn't be cured in this way, even if he dug up the Lin family and exterminated it 1,000 times, he still wouldn't be able to get rid of the hatred in his heart. This old bastard can still keep his composure. It seems that this nephew is really important to him. If the little bastard is really dead, I wonder if the major forces that are coming will be able to extinguish his anger. I guess it's a bit confusing. Even if he wipes out the Jiaolong clan, the Yuheng dynasty, and the Great Thunder Holy Temple, that little bastard still won't be able to survive. Xiao Junlin kept thinking in his mind, and suddenly felt a cold look staring at him. His whole body trembled, and he saw Xiao Xian looking at him with a smile. Immediately, I took the broom and went outside to sweep the floor. Why do I always feel like this old bastard can hear my voice? It's so weird. Xiao Xian looked at Xiao Tianyuan, who was slowly getting better, and the huge stone in his heart finally fell to the ground. Seeing that the other party had fallen asleep, Xiao Xian also turned around and returned to his room. Start collecting the system rewards that have not been collected last time. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 68. Ding, the family is automatically upgraded to a 4th grade family, and the reward has been sent. Ding, the host's cultivation level has been upgraded to the 5th level of the Cave Void Realm. The Sutra Collection Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, 10,000 Swords Cave, and the Mountain Guard Sword Array Family Station will automatically upgrade to the 4th level. The Waning Moon Sword is upgraded to a King-level mid-grade artifact, a library, spiritual mines, spiritual veins, and a legendary disciple is rewarded. Tibetan Scripture Pavilion, Level 4, increase the weight of martial arts and enhance the effects of martial arts. The tribe's hidden talent increases by 10%, and the chance of comprehending the artistic conception increases by 10,000ths. Automatically refresh the king-level inferior skills every day. Enlightenment Stone, 4th grade 5 layers, 1 layer of aura increases by 20%. The 2nd level of spiritual energy is increased by 30%, and the 3rd level of spiritual energy is increased by 50%. The spiritual energy of 40% is increased by 60%, and the enlightenment rate of the clan members is increased by 40%. Family Head Jade Pendant, 4th grade. The mid-grade qualification for the birth of a family newborn increases by 10%. The birth of a newborn will increase the quality of high-quality qualifications by 10,000ths, and increase the growth rate of the family's aura. Can be integrated with spiritual veins and family residence. Family residence, Level 4 automatically expands spiritual veins, increase spiritual energy by 40%. 10,000 Swords Cave, Level 4 contains 10,000 swords in the world. The landing of divine weapons is increased by 10,000ths, and you can obtain heaven-level divine weapons. Mountain Protecting Sword Formation, Level 4 those who touch below the tribulation realm will die. Heavenly Monument of Enlightenment, Level 4 the chance of a clan member's enlightenment is increased by 10%, and the chance of understanding the artistic conception is increased according to the opponent's talent. Can be superimposed with the Enlightenment Room to add attributes, only for family members. Library, contains various novels and autobiographies in the world, from which the children of the family can obtain suitable books. You can obtain martial arts skills by reading books, and you can obtain heaven-level martial arts skills by enlightening. In addition to the family members receiving rewards for their own insights, the host can also receive feedback to improve his own cultivation realm. The system rewards have always been very humane. Xiao Xian knew it. But I didn't expect it to be so humanized. As for the feedback from the library, besides the genius of the Xiao family, who else can do it with just one book? This is specially made for the Xiao family's genius. Now, not only has his cultivation improved, but he has also acquired skills that can improve his cultivation without practicing. I'm simply not in a good mood. Open the system page and start checking your own situation. Name, Xiao Xian. Identity, head of the Xiao family. Cultivation realm, 5th level of Dongxu realm. Martial skills, Tianyu Xianfeng sword technique, can reach the top of the immortal way after completing the practice. Cruel Walong, can cut through the void with the sword after completing the practice. 8-stage slash, can reach the 3rd level after practicing. Weapon, king level mid-grade waning moon sword. Exotic treasures, jade pendant and ring of the head of the family. Family buildings, Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Family Residence, Wanjian Cave, Thousand Buddha Hall, Enlightenment Monument, Family Ancestral Tombs, Library. Supernatural Powers, Bei's Hang, Sword Domain, Poji, Power Breaking 10,000 June, Aurora, Invincible, Extreme Speed, Explosion. Exchange Points, 60,000. Ding, congratulations to the host for exceeding 50,000 redemption points. The system has opened the 2.0 mode. Please pay attention to the host to check. Just when Xiao Xian was about to leave the system, the sound of the system came again. The original system is already so powerful, wouldn't the upgraded one be even more powerful? Xiao Xian didn't hesitate at all and clicked directly on the system to enter 2.0 mode. In the 2.0 system mode, the first change is that there are more items that can be redeemed. The second is that you can use exchange points to create a secret realm, and this secret realm is still real and effective. Including martial arts, monsters, opportunities, treasures, and even some mysteries and laws. Everything is a trophy for the taker. Xiao Xian is very satisfied with this. This way, the children of the family have another place where they can gain experience. And the results they get after their experience will be fed back to themselves in the same way. Seeing this, Xiao Xian's smile almost reached his ears. After understanding this, Xiao Xian came out of the system. Now he almost lets his young men go and make their own way. And he only needs to show up when necessary. It comes to mind, even though Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Yan are somewhat famous outside. But there are very few real life and death situations they face, which also means that their on-the-spot adaptability is relatively weak. This time the system's rewards, coupled with the problems that the Xiao family is about to face. It's better to give him a chance to let go. He can't be the only one in the family to support the situation, right? As soon as he came out of the system space, Xiao Xian heard Xiao Junlin's inner thoughts. Dear me, how on earth did this old bastard practice? How can you break through 2 realms just by being in seclusion? More powerful than your grandpa Tianzun, this is too incredible. However, it doesn't matter if we make a breakthrough now according to the future timeline, the Blood Knife Sect, the Great Thunder Holy Temple and the Dragon Clan. And the Yuhang Emperor will arrive in Tianzhou in half a month. Xiao Xian was completely immune to Xiao Junlin's complaints. What he is more concerned about now is the joint attack of several major forces in half a month. At this moment, Xiao Jianfeng suddenly walked in. Xiao Jianfeng is busy with various affairs of the family on weekdays, and rarely sees him for non-important matters. There must be something urgent coming here now. Xiao Jianfeng handed Xiao Xian a stone wrapped in black cloth. A man in black gave this to me and asked me to hand it over to the head of the family, and then left directly. Xiao Xian took the stone and felt a breath flowing faintly on it. Is the other party stronger than you? Xiao Jianfeng nodded. I didn't even notice when the other party came. Even if I was killed by him on the spot, I might not even know how I died. Among the Xiao family, I am afraid that only the head of the family can rival him. Xiao Xian was a little surprised. It didn't even touch the family formation, which can kill even the great masters in the tribulation realm. However, this person comes and goes quietly, unless his strength is above the tribulation realm. But it is impossible to think about it, no matter how powerful he is, once he enters the Xiao family. It is inevitable to touch the family formation. If this is excluded, there are only two possibilities. One is that the other party is from the Xiao family. The other is that the other party has defected to the Xiao family. But the most powerful among the children of the Xiao family are the few geniuses. However, Xiao Xian didn't understand that there was a black-robed swordsman who was only above him. How could he be willing to take refuge in the Xiao family? At this moment, a ray of light emitted from the stone, and 3 words appeared on it. Xiao Wuxi. Xiao Wuxi? Why have you never heard of it? Could it be the Xiao family who escaped back then? But why hasn't he come to me after all these years? Xiao Xian's mind was full of doubts. Xiao Junlin, who had been observing the movement inside, was attracted by this light. Even from far away, he couldn't help but look up at the stone in Xiao Xian's hand. This stone actually has the aura of the Hunyuan saint. Gee, this is too surprising. Although Saint Hunyuan is nothing in all the worlds, this is the mortal world, and Saint Hunyuan is a top-notch existence. Furthermore, above the Hunyuan saint are all the heavens and worlds, and that is an existence that can step into the void. This Hunyuan saint sent the martial god stone to the Xiao family at this time. What is he doing? Help the Xiao family destroy other forces. Wouldn't it be better to expose him himself? With a casual wave of his hand, those forces didn't even have a chance to fight back and turned into scum. Xiao Xian was surprised when he heard Xiao Junlin's inner thoughts. Then use Chaos Eyes to check the basic information of the martial god stone. Martial god stone, it is formed by the condensed consciousness of Hunyuan saint, and contains the strength of Hunyuan saint. It can kill all powerful people below Hunyuan saint until the energy consciousness dissipates. Xiao Xian looked at the faint light emanating from it and put it away calmly. This martial god stone came at just the right time to help him solve his urgent need. But what Xiao Xian didn't understand was why Xiao Wuxi suddenly sent such a big gift to the Xiao family. But he was certain that the Xiao Wuxi was another legendary descendant of the Xiao family rewarded by the system. Before, he thought that legendary disciples would only appear among young disciples. Now think about it, the system never mentioned the age and talent of the legendary children from the beginning. It's just that he still doesn't understand who the other person is from the Xiao family, and why he hasn't heard of it for so many years. Thinking like this, Xiao Xian came to Xiao Tianyun's room. At this time, he had almost recovered, and even the hidden injuries he had suffered before had been healed. Although the heavenly bones were poached, Xiao Tianyun still relied on his own talents and qualifications. After absorbing all the medicinal properties, he broke through to the Great Dao realm. He became the second Xiao family talent in the Great Dao realm after Xiao Qingyun. Xiao Tianyun looked at the recovered body and the realm of breakthrough. He gave a big salute to everyone present. Thank you for taking care of me during this time. Xiao Tianyun is very grateful. Everyone smiled with joy and started shouting at Xiao Tianyun. At this time, Xiao Xian walked in from the door. The moment Xiao Tianyun saw Xiao Xian, he fell to his knees and kowtowed to him 3 times. Tianyun thanks Uncle Xian for his kindness. Xiao Xian helped him up and patted the dust on his body. Looking at the young man with rosy complexion and determination, he looked very similar to his elder brother. He smiled happily and asked about his physical condition. The uncle and nephew sat down at the stone table in the yard to chat. Tianyun, have you ever heard of Xiao Wuxi? Xiao Xian just asked casually. After all, he didn't even know Xiao Wuxi, let alone Xiao Tianyun. However, Xiao Tianyun's answer was beyond his expectation. Xiao Wuxi, Xiao Tianyun thought he heard wrongly. Uncle Xian was talking about Xiao Wuxi from the Xiao family. Xiao Xian's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that Xiao Tianyun really knew who Xiao Wuxi was. Do you know this person? Xiao Tianyun nodded and told Xiao Xian the matter directly without making any detours. Xiao Wuxi is actually Uncle Xian's biological uncle and the youngest son of his great-grandfather. It's just that he doesn't have any talent for training, but he is unrivaled in martial arts. My great-grandfather once asked him to manage the family affairs, but he was rejected. After that, he ran away from home. We haven't seen him since and my great-grandfather was furious. Not only did he get kicked out of the house, but he was not allowed to be talked about by anyone in the family. He was not even allowed to mention his name. Being reminded by Xiao Tianyun, Xiao Xian started to think about it. Although the uncle has a talent for martial arts, the people here mainly focus on practicing martial arts. As for these martial arts, they are very rare, although they are not unpopular with the family. However, he was isolated by others because he had no talent for cultivation, and not many people would notice him. That's why Xiao Xian didn't think about it. Although this was his brother-in-law, Xiao Xian still felt a little unhappy. I got an uncle for no reason. This system must be intentional. At this moment, Xiao Xian discovered Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Yan, Xiao Jiamian, and Xiao Qingyun. Even Xiao Yanyao and others all came here. Apparently they also felt the crisis that the family was about to face, and hurried back from outside. Now that everyone is here, Xiao Xian won't talk nonsense. He took everyone away directly and came to a new building in the family. Although the place here is not big, it is actually a small world inside. This is the library, which contains all the books in the world. Only those with great opportunity can understand its secrets. I hope you can find books that suit you. Please search carefully inside, and remember to understand with your heart. Only in this way can you find the one that is truly suitable for you. Looking at Xiao Junlin outside, Xiao Xian pulled him in. You should also come and take a look. Maybe your stupid head will be enlightened. Xiao Junlin was caught off guard and entered the library filled with the aroma of books. Shit, you old bastard, Grandpa, haven't I read enough books? I have so many fragments of ancient books on my body, why do you still care about your few books? Besides, if I study with these geniuses, if they find out something, won't my Go Shen Dao be ruined? Cultivation is nothing, practice, you old bastard, did you do it on purpose? Although he was chattering in his heart, he didn't dare to show it on his face. With your qualifications, you can't understand anything. Anyway, you are just staying outside. Come in and take a stroll, maybe you can get something else, okay, just wait. Xiao Xian's words made him even more dissatisfied. Your grandfather and I are the heavenly lord, if it weren't for the fight for the treasure, he would now be the most powerful god in the void. There is no point in letting an old bastard like you bully me. Although he thought so in his heart, his steps still did not stop. Entering inside, I found that several great geniuses had dispersed. Neither can sense the other's breath. Xiao Junlin suddenly became interested. Does this mean? Even if he really realized something inside, which genius wouldn't know about it? Xiao Tianyun on the other side was walking slowly in the library and found several books during the process. But he couldn't even open it, and he couldn't even lift some books. When he once again fell in love with a book but couldn't open it, Xiao Tianyun couldn't help but sigh, it seems that these books are not relevant to me. Suddenly remembering what Xiao Xian said before coming in to feel with your heart, Xiao Tianyun suddenly woke up. Close your eyes, breathe steadily, and calmly feel the books around you. Soon, a ray of light appeared in his sea of consciousness, and there was golden light on top of that ray of light. Xiao Tianyun followed this light and walked slowly, and finally came to the golden book. He quickly stepped forward to take it off, and an eternal aura suddenly hit his face. When he opened his eyes, he only saw the three characters Desolate Heaven Emperor written on the book. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 69. Xiao Tianyun opened the book and was deeply attracted by the content inside. It's a soul-to-soul attraction. This book seems to be tailor-made for him. The protagonist in the book is a young man named Xiao Xian. After awakening the Supreme Bone, he was poached by his brother. After desperately escaping, they came to the orc tribe. Being with the orcs, and because of this, his legendary life began. Seeing an encounter that was 80% similar to his own, Xiao Tianyun's interest became even more intense. I sat cross-legged and started reading selflessly. At the same time, several other geniuses of the Xiao family gradually found books that had a chance to be with them. As the geniuses of the Xiao family, their talents and opportunities are naturally unmatched by others. Not long after entering the library, I relied on my inner feelings. I found the book that fits me best. Xiao Jiangxin took out the gleaming book in front of him with one sword dominate written on it. As soon as I opened it, I was deeply attracted by the sword energy that hit my face. The protagonist of this book was originally just an ordinary martial arts practitioner. After receiving guidance from an expert, he awakened his sword heart and gained a very high talent for understanding the way of the sword. It can be said that it is unprecedented and unprecedented. Because of this, he has never encountered an opponent in the practice of swordsmanship. It can be called a lonely and defeated existence. Any swordsman who practices swordsmanship will be able to break through after seeing his sword moves. Xiao Jiangxin was shocked by the talented young man in the book who had the same name as himself. Can't wait to see what happens next. Xiao Yan on the other side also saw a book burning with flames. Even though it was burned by fire, the book was not damaged at all. Xiao Yan took it down very curiously. I saw the words "Horse breaks the sky" written on it. When I opened the book, I felt a wave of fighting spirit coming towards my face. The book tells about a world where horses are respected and fighting spirit turns into horses. In this world, no matter how high your martial arts or cultivation level is, turning fighting spirit into a horse is the key to determining victory or defeat. Even if the opponent he faces is Do Emperor, as long as he can turn his fighting spirit into a horse, that is the existence of invincibility. The protagonist Xiao Yan in the book not only changed from a genius to a loser. The engagement was also broken off in public by his fiancée. Therefore, the slogan 30 years to the east of Hedong and 30 years to the west of Hexi was shouted. He continued to make breakthroughs later on and became a king of his generation. This resonated with Xiao Yan. The protagonist in the book not only has the same name as himself. Even the encounters are very similar, and the subsequent plot is unknown. He sat cross-legged and began to read selflessly. The moment Xiao Qingyun entered the library, nothing wrong was found. She discovered it when she sensed a book that had a chance with her. This library turns out to be a small world. Xiao Qingyun was stunned. As the reincarnated empress, she did not discover the existence of the small world. Then I thought about it. Xiao Xian's move was absolutely extraordinary. Then he started to look through the book he got. The book tells the story of a confrontation between a mortal emperor and a heavenly dynasty. The title of the book is also called The Age of Immortal Qin. The Zhou dynasty became increasingly weak and was divided into two dynasties, Eastern and Western. The princes competed for hegemony. However, the two dynasties of the East and West were located between the powerful countries and did not oppose the war together. The ancestors of Qin took advantage of the attack on the Khanate, destroyed it, and established the Qin state. Later, reforms were implemented and a series of reform measures were implemented. Strengthen national strength and improve combat effectiveness. Finally compete in the Central Plains and aspire to dominate the world. However, all this also attracted punishment from heaven. Hundreds of schools of thought and the remnants of the Six Nations also seized this only opportunity. Began to launch a counter-attack against Qin. In the end, King Qin showed his iron-blooded skills. First, he killed Jing Kai, and then burned books and enslaved Confucians. Then win over Yan Qi, stabilize Wei Chu, and eliminate Han and Zhao. Make friends from far away and attack closely, attack one by one, and finally suppress all opposing voices. But that's not the end of it. King Qin then led his troops to attack Tianting, and finally defeated Tianting. He created the Qin era, deposed the emperor, and called himself the first emperor. From then on, the immortal Qin era began. Seeing this, Xiao Qingyun took a breath. Isn't the Xian Qin era the same as the current Nanming dynasty? There is constant internal chaos, and the outside world is watching eagerly. All forces, including some imperial dynasties, are waiting to devour her. Xiao Qingyun was completely attracted by the experience of King Qin in the book. Xiao Yanniao on the other side looked at the countless books and continued to talk nonsense. Sure enough, only a library of this size can be worthy of me. If I can come and visit it, it will become famous in history in the future. The books that can be photographed by me will be snapped up by future generations in a few years. After wandering around the library for a quarter of an hour, Xiao Yanniao finally stopped. He looked at the shining book in front of him that read the Coffin Trilogy, The Immortal King Xiao Yanniao. Some frowned with disdain. A book with the same name as mine? I don't know if you have the qualifications. In his heart, the name Xiao Yanniao belongs to him and is unique in the world. But when he read the contents inside, he felt his soul was shaken. The content actually attracted him deeply. There is something really good about this book. It is worthy of being named after Xiao Yanniao. The content is perfect. Even if the era is reincarnated and the great destruction is destined to be irreversible, my name will still be left in the world and engraved on the long river of time. These words are quite consistent with my image. Xiao Yanniao couldn't help but nodded when he saw a certain sentence in the book. As he continued to read the books, Xiao Yanniao gradually became involved in them. At this time, Xiao Junlin checked around. It was discovered that they really couldn't sense each other's breath. Then he started wandering around the library in a swaggering manner. When he saw the book My Senior Brother is Too Stubborn. Read driven by curiosity. After reading a chapter or two, I was surprised by the protagonist. An ordinary sec senior brother, but with a Go system. And with the help of Go system, he became a god along the way. This guy is better than me. This Go system is somewhat similar to my treasure. Perhaps because they both rely on Go to practice cultivation, they resonate with each other. Xiao Junlin became more and more curious about it, and even lay on the ground to study it. Jamal Xiao searched several times in the library and even met Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Qingyun. They have all begun to read and comprehend, but he has not yet found the right book for him. After a lot of twists and turns, I finally saw a book entangled with the power of thunder. As soon as Jamal Xiao reached forward, the book Clan Development, All My Descendants Are Models of Xiaoxian came into his hands. Just hearing the title of the book made him feel excited. Not to mention that the power of thunder above it penetrated deep into the sea of consciousness the moment he touched it. There was an instant feeling of excitement, which was unprecedented. Could this be the legendary and unique book? You can understand the great truth just by reading it. Jamal Xiao excitedly flipped through the contents above, and the introduction alone made him want to stop. Not to mention the wonderful places behind. The further he read, the more he couldn't put it down and wanted to read the book in one sitting. Absolutely amazing. It's a pity that the author and I are not in the same era, otherwise it would have to be signed by the same author. Jamal Xiao even exclaimed when he saw the exciting plot behind it. Xiaoxian, who was in another part of the library, was slowly sipping tea. I don't know what kind of feedback these doll heads will give me. Xiaoxian smiled slightly and savored the tea in his hand. During this time in the library, other members of the Xiao family were also practicing continuously. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. There was a sudden fluctuation in the library. I saw Xiao Jiangxin slowly opening his eyes, exuding an aura of the great Dao realm around him. In an instant, a sword power emanated from his body. Immediately afterwards, Xiao Jiangxin's cultivation level broke through the great Dao realm. Even the sword power has been upgraded from Xiao Cheng's sword power to Dachen's sword power. However, this was not over yet, as Xiao Jiangxin's eyes seemed to have stars flowing. Beheading a long whale while leaning on the heavenly sword while drunkenly cuts off a long whale, and aids the boat in Sichuan with a smile on the roaring waves. The stars follow, the sun and the moon shine, the four eras are controlled, the yin and yang are transformed, the wind and rain are generous, all things are harmonious and prosperous, and each is nourished. One sword can break through the starry sky, one breath can cut through the void, and one movement can open up the world. At this moment, Xiao Jian's heart seemed to be integrated with the sword. Even if he was only at the first level of Dao realm, Xiao Xian could sense the changes in him. With his current strength, as long as the opponent is not a genius of the same level, it can be said that he is invincible among his peers. Even in swordsmanship, he is unmatched by his peers. Ding, Xiao Jiangxin comprehended the heart of the sword god, achieved a breakthrough in cultivation, achieved a breakthrough in swordsmanship, and the host received feedback. Upgrade your cultivation by one level, comprehend new magical powers, and dance with blood in the void. Xiao Xian felt a shock all over his body, and a surge of momentum rushed from his danshan to his limbs. Gathering into the sea of consciousness and soul, when he opened his eyes again, his cultivation level had broken through from the 5th level of Dongxi realm to the 6th level. Ding, congratulations to the host for achieving a great breakthrough in the secrets of swordsmanship and understanding the secrets of swordsmanship. Blood dancing in the void, with no hair on the string, one sword can fly across the sky and kill unparalleled enemies. Xiao Xian nodded with satisfaction. It seems that the decision this time was correct. Not only can the younger generation gain new insights, he can also get feedback. This time Xiao Jiangxin's breakthrough brought him an improvement in cultivation. He also gained insights into the way of the sword, and even acquired a new killer sword move. Immediately afterwards, Jamal Xiao also broke through. Killing thunder. I didn't expect this book to make me understand the avenue of thunder and lightning. Jamal Xiao's whole body was wrapped in the power of thunder. He only felt that his whole body was full of power, and this power desperately needed a breakthrough. Even his cultivation level feels vaguely like a breakthrough. Jamal Xiao used the newly learned skills to lead the power of the killing thunder to the sea of consciousness. Break. The next moment, Jamal Xiao's cultivation level broke through the great Dao realm. Even the combat effectiveness has increased more than 10 times. Ding, Jamal Xiao comprehended the killing thunder, broke through the great Dao realm, and the host received feedback. The cultivation base is promoted to the peak of the 6th level of Dongxi realm, and the perfect level of Thunder Tribulation 9 Heavens divine power is obtained. In an instant, Xiao Xian felt another improvement in his cultivation. Even the power of thunder exploded all over his body, and Xiao Xian spread his hands. On the palm of his hand, there was a cluster of purple thunder power making thunderous sounds. The feedback is quite good. Now his understanding of thunder is not inferior to Jamal Xiao. On the day I return to the world, all rebels shall die. Whether it's heaven or hell, I can come when I want to come and leave when I want to leave. No one can stop me. If you don't worship the Emperor, your true destiny will be lost. Your name is on the reincarnation monument. If you kowtow step by step, your sins will be cut in half on the way to rebirth. Xiao Yanyao suddenly opened his eyes. The aura of the immortal king emanating from his whole body actually makes people feel like they are kneeling down. At this moment, his cultivation level actually broke through the great Dao realm. Along with the fluctuations of countless spiritual energy, Xiao Yanyao's cultivation level at this moment has caught up with Xiao Jiangxin and others. Ding, Xiao Yanyao breaks through the realm, understands the immortal road, and can peer into the long river of history. The time and space reincarnation method can turn into a future body to bless your own body. The host's cultivation has broken through the 7th level of the cave void realm, and has obtained the perfect level of time and space reincarnation method, which can turn into a future supreme being to bless his body. Xiao Qingyun closed the book and slowly closed his eyes. An aura of national destiny spread around her, and the Golden King level dragon was upgraded to an Emperor level dragon. Xiao Xian's cultivation realm also rose to the peak of the 7th level of Dongxi realm. Watching these geniuses break through one by one, Xiao Xian felt even more that his decision was correct. What he has to do now is no longer to fight like before. Instead, they moved behind the scenes and left the battlefield in the hands of these younger generations. He just needs to be their backbone and reassurance. Give guidance when necessary and become a guiding light on their journey. At this moment, Xiao Xian suddenly found that his compatibility with the system was even higher. Because of this, the feedback and insights he received were also higher. Looking at Xiao Junlin again, the feedback given to him by the other party was that his cultivation level had broken through to the 8th level of Dongxi realm. You little bastard, you are hiding something, so much so that there is so little feedback. Xiao Xian cursed secretly in his heart, and then looked towards Xiao Junlin. What are you looking at, old bastard? I have understood the deeper meaning of evil. Why, do you want it? Let's see if you believe it or not. Grandpa Junlin wants you to see what Goshen Dao is. As soon as Xiao Junlin came out of the library, he saw Xiao Xian staring at him and immediately cursed in his heart. When Xiao Xian heard this, he wanted to go up and punch him. But I also understand why I only get so little feedback. It seems that even the system didn't know how to distribute it to him for his Goshen Dao. But what kind of morality did this guy understand, and he couldn't even do anything about the system? Xiao Yan slowly opened his eyes. Carefully put the books in your hands back. I didn't expect that there are so many ways to use strange fire, and even the effects are different. This book is so amazing. Just reading it made me understand the avenue of fireworks. Xiao Xian looked at the breakthroughs and insights of these people and nodded with satisfaction. Everyone, hurry up and practice. The sooner you can achieve a breakthrough, the better. The higher the moral understanding, the better, so he doesn't need to practice much. You can also get their feedback and receive rewards from the system. You can become a god just by lying down. Now, he can't wait to have a battle with a great tribulation master right away. He had absolute confidence and defeated him with one sword. He is even invincible among his peers. It's even easier to challenge the next level. But there is still one person left who has not come out yet. As a cultivator who had his heavenly bones dug out, Xiao Tianyun awakened another spiritual root. He was really curious about what insights Xiao Tianyun would gain. And what kind of feedback will he get? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 70. Xiao Tianyun was surrounded by endless spiritual energy. It seemed to be guided from the depths of the starry sky, and gradually gathered somewhere in his chest. However, these spiritual energies did not dissipate immediately, but instead merged together. It was like being guided by an invisible supreme force. It merged with the starlight and gradually disappeared into Xiao Tianyun's body. Until Xiao Tianyun opened his eyes. Almost at the same time, there was a big commotion in the library. If this was not produced by the system, I am afraid it would have broken through the void long ago, attracting the covetousness of forces from all directions. Even several other geniuses were attracted by this power. They rushed towards this place in unison. I didn't expect Emperor Huangtian to be so lonely in his life. Although he ascended to the sky, he was alone. For millions of years, I have witnessed the death of my relatives with my own eyes. Because I was not capable enough, my relatives sacrificed themselves to death. There are also relatives who fought and died on the battlefield, even though he was already so strong at that time. Xiao Tianyun didn't seem to be reading a book, but looking back at Emperor Huangtian's past. Although he finally set foot on the sky, he could not escape the fatal loneliness. Can't even a strong man like Huangtian Emperor change his fate of being extremely lonely? Xiao Tianyun felt inexplicably uncomfortable in his heart. Emperor Huangtian's strength was what he yearned for. But his future is not what he wants. No. I won't let his experience happen to me. I have Uncle Xian, Uncle Yuan, my little grandfather, and a confidant like Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Yan. In this life, I will never follow the old path of Emperor Huangtian. I will become stronger, and have enough ability to protect them and protect them. Only absolute strength will prevent them from peeking into the Xiao family. Let alone do anything to the Xiao family. I will protect the person I want to protect. With the strength of Emperor Huangtian, I will hurry up and catch up. Now I have no parents, not even relatives and friends. I finally found Uncle Xian. Having met my close friends on the road to becoming a god, how can I let them slip from my hands again? This moment, Xiao Tianyun's will is extremely firm. Immediately afterwards, waves of ethereal light that looked like fairy energy ignited in his chest. An innate courage that can surpass all living beings burst out at this moment. Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Yan, and others who arrived one after another were shocked by this scene. Even Xiao Xian couldn't help but stare at the ethereal light of immortal power. Is this a supreme realization? Good guy, he is indeed the owner of the heavenly bones. Xiao Qingyun's beautiful eyes flashed slightly, looking at the ethereal brilliance of immortal power in horror. This can't be the immortal bones from the legends of the gods and worlds of that era. There is a legend in the era period that the most powerful one is not the heavenly bones. But it may take 10,000 or even hundreds of millions of years to give birth to a fairy bone. People with immortal bones, no matter their qualifications or talents, are recognized by the legendary immortals. Immortal, that is an existence that can suppress a whole world. However, such existence has long disappeared in the long river of time and space. Is it really the legendary fairy bone? Xiao Qingyun's mood at this time was extremely shocking, and she might see it with her own eyes. The birth of the legendary immortal bone. Xiao Junlin's attention was also attracted. He crossed his arms across his chest and watched the changes taking place in Xiao Tianyun. This boy has awakened his immortal bones. This is something from the legend of the era. Anyone who possesses immortal bones is recognized by the legendary immortal as a person who possesses immortal bones. Although ordinary people go through more hardships, even 10 deaths, after he has gone through this kind of experience. he will be an invincible existence, and may even enter the immortal path. Xiao Junlin clicked his tongue repeatedly and couldn't help but murmur in his heart. At the same time, his eyes were also looking up and down, left and right on Xiao Xian. The talent of the Xiao family kid is so good. Xiao Xian, the old bastard, didn't know whether he was lucky or lucky. You think those prodigies are great, they are talented people, but this nephew was picked up casually and half dead. He actually awakened the immortal bone. With such qualifications, even if I succeed in cultivating Go Shen Dao, if I really want to do something to him, I still have to think carefully. It seems that I now have to find a way to have a good relationship with this old bastard. One might be able to become an immortal, and the other may be a bit cunning, but his ability is really nothing to say. Coupled with those few geniuses, if they go outside and really want to do something, no one can resist it. And this Xiao Qingyun, although her appearance has changed, her behavior is still very much like her. This point deserves further study. In addition to the other geniuses of the Xiao family, as well as the 9 elders, they seem to be spiritual bodies that awakened in the later stages. This spirit body is so rare. How come it has become so common in the Xiao family, not to mention the strong ones in the golden body realm? This is too unbelievable. I originally thought that my sister's qualifications are not unbelievable here, but she can still be ranked among the best. The result turned out to be mediocre qualifications. What the hell is this? No, the relationship between uncle and nephew must be good. The relationship between the geniuses of the Xiao family must also be closer. It's all a big deal. He was used to hearing Xiao Junlin complain and curse him. Xiao Xian is now immune. He just automatically ignored his complaints about himself. Paying attention to the key points inside, I was very relieved to learn that Xiao Tianyun had awakened the immortal bone. I didn't expect Tianyun to be a blessing in disguise this time, awakening the immortal bone. This can be regarded as his luck and good fortune. At this time, Xiao Tianyun was still making breakthroughs. The ethereal brilliance of those immortal powers gradually formed a golden bone exuding golden brilliance in the body. After filling up the original vacant space, Xiao Tianyun's momentum also changed dramatically at this time. Even the realm of cultivation is constantly rising, until it breaks through to the peak of the 9th level of the Great Dao realm. Only then did he stop. Now his cultivation is as good as Xiao Qingyun. Xiao Tianyun slowly opened his eyes and felt the changes in himself. Clenching his fists tightly, he recalled what Lin Shan had done to him. His eyes were instantly filled with hatred. Lin Shan, you took my heavenly bones and almost killed me, but you didn't expect that I would awaken the immortal bones. It's time to put an end to what you did to me. My good cousin. Every time Xiao Tianyun recalled those encounters, he wished he could become a little stronger, a little stronger. In this way, Lin Shan's true face can be torn away. And he was deceived by Lin Shan and those people precisely because they had the same blood relationship with his mother. But how could he have thought that Lin Shan would do this to him for his own cultivation? Ding, Xiao Tianyun has made a breakthrough in cultivation and comprehended the 4 secret methods of Huangtian Emperor. The host received feedback and his cultivation level was raised to the 9th level of Dongxi realm. The host obtained the perfect secret method of Huangtian Emperor, and he transformed it into a great freedom method. Xiao Xian didn't expect Xiao Tianyun to understand so much, and even he gained a lot of insights. Emperor Huangtian's method of altering oneself freely is similar to Xiao Junlin's method of connecting time and space through reincarnation. But Emperor Huangtian's self-transformation technique can directly crush him. After Xiao Tianyun succeeded in breaking through, he found that everyone was already waiting for him here. He stood up and nodded to everyone. Now, this has become a tacit understanding between them. You can know what the other person means without using words. This time they all gained a lot. In addition to improving their cultivation level, their understanding also improved. Xiao Xian led everyone away from the library. This time not only did the major geniuses gain a lot, but he also received a lot of feedback. Coupled with the creation of secret realms in the 2.0 system, he will receive a lot of feedback by then. This system is amazing. Just when everyone came out of the library, I found several waves of forces appearing in the sky. Every wave of power comes with force. They are the Jiaolong clan, the Blood Knife sect, the Great Thunder Holy Temple, and the Yuhang Imperial Dynasty. Originally, these forces were incompatible with each other. At this moment, they appeared in the Xiao family at the same time. It is enough to prove that they have reached some kind of tacit understanding. And that also means the Xiao family will face an unprecedented battle. This battle also laid the foundation for the future development of the Xiao family. Everyone in the Xiao family looked at each other. They all saw eagerness to try in each other's eyes. Now their cultivation realm has been greatly improved. He even learned new techniques and morals. This time all the major forces came together to attack. For them, it is undoubtedly an excellent opportunity to practice their skills. Xiao Xian looked at the darkness in the sky. The corners of his mouth raised slightly, not knowing that these baby heads would defeat them one by one within a few moves. At the same time, everyone in the sky was watching them. Dozens of monks came to the Great Thunder Temple this time, among which there were 3 powerful ones who had overcome the tribulation. They wore golden cassocks, held wooden fish in their hands, and chanted Buddhist beads. He had a kind look on his face, as if he was here to save the world at this moment. On the other side, wearing black robes and full of black aura, there were also 3 strong men who had overcome the Calamity Realm. Behind them were the leaders of the 3 branches of the Blood Knife sect and a group of kings from the Cave Realm. Opposing them was the Jiaolong clan, followed by several elders who had been severely injured by Xiao Xian's sword. At this moment, they were staring hatefully at Xiao Xian, who was fluttering in white clothes below. Xiao Xian must pay the price today for the hatred of taking away the bone marrow of his ancestors and the hatred of severely injuring him. The bone marrow of the ancestors of the Jiaolong clan can not only help people improve their cultivation level. It can even be used as medicine. Heal any worldly wound. Those are their ancestors. How can you become someone else's medicine guide? How could they endure this kind of blood feud? Beside them were the Yuhang Emperor dynasty and Xuanlun mansion. A total of 6 strong men who had transcended the Calamity Realm were dispatched. Among them, Xuanlun mansion came to destroy the Xiao family under the orders of Master Linshan. The 5 major forces dispatched a total of 15 powerful tribulation masters. This is just what they saw. What's hidden in the darkness is more than that. Xiao Xian even felt the powerful aura from the Dao-slaying king. This time they really spent a lot of money to seize the Kailan sect's treasure. Xiao Xian, there are so many distinguished guests coming to your Xiao family today, why don't you come out to greet them? The Dragon clan was the first to speak, and the dragon tail behind them swayed. Looking at the faintly coercive formation below, the Dragon clan was full of disdain. If they touch this formation casually, they can shatter it. Xiao Xian didn't take it seriously to the Jiaolong clan's shouting. Instead, he looked at the talented people around him. Today you will meet them with my family leader. Let my family leader see your strength and increase your knowledge. I don't know what you think. The geniuses of the Xiao family have long wanted to fight alongside Xiao Xian. There were so many powerful people here today, which was not only a challenge to them. It is the only chance to fight side by side with Xiao Xian. Of course I will fight side by side with the head of the family. After saying that, everyone rose into the air and stood on the opposite side of the 5 forces. Xiao Xian looked around, as if he felt lazy after waking up. It's good. The bright and dark ones are all here. It also saves me the head of the family from having to look for them one by one in the future. The monks from Dalei Holy Temple who were standing opposite them saw the scene and chanted Amitba. Then the holy monk Juewen took a step forward and struck the wooden fish in his hand. The poor monk observed the sky last night and discovered that the Xiao family has been enveloped by demonic energy, and the head of the Xiao family has fallen into the devil's way. Today the poor monk came here specifically to ward off demons and defend the way, to rectify the atmosphere, Amitabha. Saint Monk Chwaywan's words not only failed to attract the approval of everyone, but also received a burst of disdain. The Jiaolong clan even rolled their eyes. Obviously they were here to seize the Kailan sect's most precious treasure. It must be given the title of saving all sentient beings, and it is worthy of being created by the two sages of the West. Holy monk Chwaywan has long been accustomed to all this, and he doesn't take it seriously. Xiao Yan suddenly laughed and pointed at the people from the blood knife sect beside them. Since the holy monk is here to ward off demons and defend the way, those around you are already demon spirits. How about you deal with them first? So that we can see the Buddhist purification technique. Xiao Yan's words made all the bald donkeys in the Great Thunder Temple feel embarrassed instantly. But they soon adjusted their mood. This time I came here to seize the Kailan sect's most precious treasure. But they didn't expect that the blood knife sect, which had disappeared for a long time, would also come. Humph, you are really sharp-tongued. No one else knows the purpose of our coming today, but you, the Xiao family, don't know it? Take my move. The genius of the Xuanlun mansion on the side couldn't help it anymore. This time he was just following orders. Therefore, he just wanted to win a quick victory, and he didn't even look down on people like Xiao Yan. Punch me. He immediately rushed forward and punched Xiao Yan, with the intention of suppressing Xiao Yan on the spot. Xiao Yan couldn't stand such a punch. He didn't even use any martial arts skills and directly faced the genius fist moves. When Tianjiao saw this, he felt that the other party was humiliating him. Although he was 3 levels lower than himself, he was not even willing to use martial arts. Seek death. Since the other party is so arrogant, why should he show mercy? Xiao Yan curled his lips indifferently. That's very good. I saw that the punch Xiao Yan threw out was filled with endless flames. There are as many as 9 colors in the flame. As soon as the Tianjiao of Xuanlun mansion encountered him, he was completely devoured by the flames. A genius at the 4th level of the Great Dao realm couldn't even take one of Xiao Yan's moves. Everyone was surprised. This boy is so awesome. Looking at the flames burning on his boxing skills, could it be Xiao Yan who loves to practice in secret realms? Xiao Yan's understanding of the path of fire is truly extraordinary. The other party is a well-known genius in Xuanlun mansion. Even in the Tianluo domain, he is ranked high. I didn't expect that Xiao Yan couldn't even take one of Xiao Yan's moves. When another genius from Xuanlun mansion heard these words, he immediately felt that they were humiliating him in disguise. Xiao Yan, right? What's the use of making a sneak attack when he's not prepared? Come and fight with me. That person was actually one of the top 10 geniuses in Xuanlun mansion. The realm of cultivation has reached the 7th level of the Great Dao realm, and they are the key cultivation targets of Xuanlun mansion. The next moment, he swung his sword directly, and there was a cold sword intent on the sword light. He actually understood the meaning of the sword. No wonder Xuanlun mansion pays so much attention to him. Although Xiao Yan has a deep understanding of the way of fire, I'm afraid he won't be able to withstand this sword technique. I'm afraid only a swordsman can resist this sword intent. Everyone felt sorry for Xiao Yan, in their eyes. A swordsman with sword intent is far more powerful than Xiao Yan, who understands the path of fire. What's more, Xiao Yan is only at the 1st level of Dao realm, and he is even less likely to be his opponent. Xiao Yan couldn't help but sneer after seeing the opponent's sword. Swordsman? Compared to Xiao Jiangxin, you are just like a child playing house. You can't stand on the stage. Along with the sound of Xiao Yan's voice, there was also the fist filled with endless flames. I saw flames burning all over the sky, threatening to burn up the whole world. The first punch shattered the opponent's sword intent. The second punch, with extremely strong momentum, broke his sword. The head of the family has said that you should always be reasonable, especially when you encounter someone who is unreasonable. I've already taken your move, and it's your turn to take my move. Xiao Yan had a playful smile on his face, as if it was a small fight between the two brothers. I saw a punch with purple gold flames piercing the sky and heading towards the opponent. Tianjiao was immediately shocked. The power of this punch was so powerful. No matter how powerful your fist is, it can't withstand my sword. Cut. The terrifying sword energy instantly erupted again, directly facing Xiao Yan's punch. The endless sword energy and the spreading flames collided, causing a whirlpool of heaven and earth. The next moment, the body of the genius from Xuanlun Mansion was directly repulsed. Don't wait for his reaction. Xiao Yan's fist had already hit his chest. Endless blood spurted out from his mouth instantly. It wasn't until his body fell to the ground that everyone reacted. Xiao Yan actually killed the two great geniuses of Xuanlun Mansion. At this moment, everyone looked at him in shock.